Good day, ladies and gentlemen. We got a big Crimson Desert overview coming your way. Today, we're going to watch every single feature overview video, everything that is to come with Crimson Desert, every single mechanic, everything they have presented us. We're going to watch all their shorts they have posted. Plus, there is an interview with the director of marketing that recently joined the guys from Drop Frames. And we get their Twitter, which is filled with even more information. So it's going to be an interesting stream for the people that might have checked out Crimson Desert already or are still new to what's being offered. We get it all. I think we're going to pretty much start with like video one, Son of Roar. Good to see their partner. I even got myself YouTube Premium so we don't have to watch any ads in between and can fully like focus on what's going to be happening. I haven't watched most of these videos myself
Hello,
yet.
Everyone. Welcome to the first Crimson Desert Features overview video. In this series, we'll be sharing information about several gameplay features.
You can't wait for this game. We can all not wait for this game, but they have given us so much to already work with. So many information on how does base building work? How's customization? World travel? You know, can you actually like build your own little nation or your camp up? All that kind of stuff. There's so much coming. Tobias, good to see you there. I hope it's loud enough. I can make it a bit louder still.
And providing a look into what you can expect when you step into the world of Crimson Desert.
More a big fan of the
Today,
floating
we'll
mechanic.
cover our main protagonist, Cliff, and his story, as well as the open world where your journey will take place. This is the continent of Pywell, a seamless open world filled with natural beauty. Here you'll find both vast wilderness stretching as far as the eye can see, and bustling cities inhabited by residents from all walks of life.
The Black Desert 2, Megaris? No, Crimson Desert is not Black Desert 2. Crimson Desert is its own thing that works in its own bounds and constraints, right? It's like this big open world game, and they pretty much took every feature that you have ever seen in a game. Grapple, gliding, base building, interacting with, like, having all the interactable NPCs that actually have their own life. And they kind of put it all together in a game, and it does seem to work. This is single player Elminster, and it won't have microtransactions. Maybe down the line in the life cycle of the game, there will be some stuff you can buy, special outfits for Cliff or whatsoever. There's only pre-order bonus, and the game will release completely without an MTX store. There's house building in Ghost Wolf. There's house building. Ashes of Creation 2, no, this is not Ashes of Creation 2, Magaris. This is a real game, a real single-player game. It's not trying to be a fake-ass MMO with millions being embezzled.
As you explore, you may also come across ancient ruins and more just waiting to be discovered. But for all its beauty, danger lurks in all corners.
Right, you're hanging to a tree there.
Rival factions clash in deadly conflicts. Hostile forces roam the lands. And high above, in the realm known as the Abyss, a growing mystical imbalance threatens to push the world toward chaos. This is where you step in.
Here, take these wings.
That's you, that's Cliff. But you get more main characters too.
It's
So you
time
not only
to
have to play
return.
Cliff. Tobias, you will have to have a good PC.
You will play as Cliff, a formidable warrior of the Greymanes, a faction hailing from the region of Pewell. Renowned for their commitment to peace, the Greymanes have long fought for their homeland's unity and protected the innocent. To Cliff, his fellow Greymanes are family in all but name, and he has fought with them side by side, determined to preserve unity in their lands.
And your faction, the Greymanes, they have pretty much lost their home, okay? But you can build up the whole camp again, the whole Greymane area with the lads. Cyberwolf, we're definitely going to watch the interview. We have it already lined up, no worries. Here, this is the interview. It's kind of like, well, how long was it? It starts kind of like around here, so it's just kind of like an hour long or so. We shouldn't actually get an ad anymore because we're to premium. But yeah, it's like kind of like an hour long, so that's going to be something I will want to watch too today to like glean every piece of information out of it. You know? Sounds like Red Dead Redemption meets Skyrim. Yeah, that's pretty much wraps Crimson Desert goodly up. I mean, it's a game that's really seems over ambitious. However, it's just a single player game. You know what I mean? It's not trying to be anything like multiplayer, and the Asians, honestly, I mean, it's from Pearl Abyss over in the East. They have delivered. How good of a PC? You will need a good PC, and then you'll need to run DLSS, and you need to run FSR, and probably frame generation, and all that kind of stuff. Let's be fair. If you're playing like with a last generation crap shit, then you're screwed. However, it's coming for PS5 as well, so probably the easiest way to run this is PS5. It's not coming to PS4.
Rest well.
But we first join Cliff in the days after that piece is shattered.
Gian has fallen. And with the great leader's death, our land, Payloon, once unified, has been plunged into chaos.
You have to
And
rebuild.
now, a bloody battle unfolds between the Greymanes, who fight to uphold his will, and the Black Bear forces that seek to set it aflame.
Your journey begins with reuniting the surviving Greymanes to rebuild the faction and reclaim your homeland.
Black Bear bastards swore up and down you were dead. Ross!
But as you venture farther, the clearer it will become that the fate of more than just the Greymanes is in your hands. Forces of greed and malice wreak havoc across the continent, while a far greater threat emerges. The gazes of dark forces are fixed on the Abyss, a mysterious realm that holds power beyond imagination. And in doing so, drives the balance of this unknown world and the continent below ever deeper into chaos.
I mean, if a PS5 Pro can run
Fragments
it,
of the Abyss are falling to the lands below and lie scattered across
that's the
Pywell,
PC you need.
defeating those that seek to use these remnants, and restoring the Abyss's broken balance will be an important part of your journey.
The Abyss holds what the world itself will contain. Which is why they plot to open the gate.
As far as I understood, this Abyss is like all the structures that are hovering like in the sky. And in the Abyss, you can gather Abyss artifacts, which you need to upgrade your abilities. But there's more to come in the feature overview that kind of explains that, right?
What's behind it?
Pure power. Raw and untamed.
The moment it is claimed by a single hand, ruin is sure to follow.
If we fail to do so, countless lives will be lost. We can't do this alone. Naira, gather all of the Greymanes.
Consider it done.
Pick focus! They're all fucking dead!
Game's not going to be Souls-like, by the way. It's more action RPG combat with combos, right? Smashing people, using your abilities, throwing them around, grapple moves, that kind of stuff.
The story of Crimson Desert centers on Cliff,
This way.
How's the situation?
but as his tale unfolds, two new playable characters will come to join your journey. As these characters become available, you will be able to freely explore Pywell and undertake many quests outside the main story with them.
You can pretty much seamlessly swap between all three. But if you then come to like a story moment, he'll go back to Cliff, if that makes sense. So you get Cliff, you get the lady, and you get the big bear guy. And then you can play whatever you want, any three of them, right, with their respective skill trees. But whenever cutscene comes, because the story is Cliff centered, you'll then see Cliff running around, right? Kind of how it works.
Each character has their own combat style, as well as unique skills and weapons, allowing you to experience the world and its battles in different ways. Pywell is made up of 5 regions, each holding stories to be told and discoveries waiting to be found.
I like how we have so many different biomes. Seems good. Including the Crimson Desert. Here it is.
The main questline follows Cliff's journey through the central story, but questing in Pywell goes far beyond following a single path. The continent is full of other tales, interesting encounters, and hidden challenges that all shape your adventure, and you're free to take them on in any order you choose.
We get like a little look on the map. This is obviously only part of it, as you can see, but already that is quite significant and has a lot of POIs going on. As I understood, the storyline is not linear, so if you reach a point where you cannot continue, you have the opportunity to just say, fuck this. I'm going somewhere else. Right? It's like, it's too hard. And then you can just go somewhere else and probably, I mean, if I already see this, like I want to go to this cave, and then I want to go to that cave, and then I need to go here, right? And there's a cave there too, but there's a cave all the way on the top. I mean, you're going to have the feeling that you will want to visit everywhere, right? Also, you can see this is the Kelfit logging camp, right? You can overtake these areas with your Greymane followers, and then your base continuously gets lumber. So there's an actual base faction building thing going on, where you're like, hey, 20 of my lads, they're going to go to the logging camp, and another 20 of my lads, they're going to get the nearby fortification. Yeah, that's like how it kind of works. Trailer 3 has a bit more details on this.
Pywell's quests revolve around the factions, houses, and organizations of Pywell.
So much chat.
Some of these quests are grand, with large-scale objectives like reclaiming fortresses and taking on formidable foes.
Do you know how to drive a wagon? Would you take the reins and get me to the trading post?
While others are quieter, requiring you to help residents with everyday tasks. From the outset, some factions will be friendly and may give you missions.
The Bleed Bandits are raising an army of their own. And worse still, they've stolen the family spear manual. My son Graham went to reclaim it, but he's gone silent. With the rest of my men serving the Duke, I find myself in need
19th of March, right around the corner.
Others, however, are hostile forces who are residing in...
what we get here? This is a rude hold. A stronghold centered around the Elder Tree, an ancient power source. Faction information is from House Celeste, and it has blockaded the wolf trackers.
Or occupying the area. Roothold, originally under the jurisdiction of House Celeste, is currently blockaded, under siege by the invading forces of Gwen Kraber. The area will be liberated once Gwen Kraber and Kraber's soldiers are defeated.
Okay, and what happens when you liberate it? You notice the fighting is not really... This is more like God of War than Souls-like. You mash your combos, you go at the opponent, you still have to roll out of the way, correct? But it's not like this like Souls-like dish and dashing out, right? We have like more action-paced combat.
Roothold is now back under the control of its rightful faction, House Celeste.
And now you obtain an artifact.
Enemy forces have withdrawn, and the region will now be safe to travel. In other liberated locations, the homes of rightful residents may be restored. Rewards for faction quests will be helpful in your character progression, from meeting new merchants to receiving equipment for your journey and gaining access to resources like lumber, stone, and other materials you'll need to rebuild the Greymane's home. In Pywell, exploration is more than travel.
This is what I love.
It's discovery.
Here. You have a double jump. You got
Whether it's
glide.
finding undiscovered points of interest,
There'll be so much to find.
hidden treasures, or simply a vantage point to take in the view. There is much that will draw your curiosity to wander.
Good morning. This looks promising. Still said this isn't MMO. No, it's really good this isn't MMO. Why is this good? Why is it great that this is not MMO? Because then they would have to care of building in an MMO loop. And MMO loops are grindy and boring in 90% of the cases. So right now we might have a game that's chock full of features, right? We get, again, with the base building, the faction building, all that kind of stuff. Mining, lumbering, blah, quests. But it doesn't have to care to build in a loop to have you go back and play the game for years. It's an actual game to play through and enjoy, plus then the DLCs to come, right? Making this an MMO would make it a worse game. Hasn't heard about BDO? I have heard about BDO, which has a terrible gameplay loop for me personally. I mean, this game is meant to be a single player, intentionally to be a single player, and it's good. Right? You start and you end. And that start and end might be 100 hours of game time, and that's fine, because 100 hours is plenty.
With sights, secrets, and surprises along the way catching your attention, and no strict path, you can pretty much go anywhere that captures your interest.
I really hope it's super open, right? It's my main interest. Because I just want to go see, like, this here is one of my favorite things I've seen in a short already, because you're gonna find places like this, right? And it seems like you have a triple jump plus a glide. This means if you want to discover something stubbornly,
provides reliable travel, but Cliff himself can climb and even glide across distances. Further into your journey, you'll also gain access to a missile-firing mech and a dragon that will allow you to soar high above the world. On your journey, you will meet a wide variety of the continent's inhabitants as part of everyday life in Pywell. Amongst them, hostile factions and enemies each present their own threats, from well-trained soldiers and sorcerers to ferocious beasts and machines that will test your combat skill and adaptability. And for those seeking a different kind of challenge, Pywell holds many mysteries. From ancient mechanisms hidden in forgotten ruins to enigmatic puzzles, each rewarding keen observation and problem solving.
I'm all in.
Now, let's go over just some of the things you can discover out in the world. The Abyss is a mysterious realm brimming with secrets and untold power. Its influence stretches far beyond its own borders, spilling into the lands of Pywell. Fragments have fallen to the world.
Wait, is that like a discovery skill, Chad? This one here.
Beyond its own borders, spilling into the land.
Is that like a discovery skill where you see where artifacts are located? Because you have to find artifacts to upgrade your abilities. So like he's up here. He puts like this, like he pulls a sword, right?
Spilling into.
And it's like a Witcher sense, and you see like there's an artifact, there's an artifact. They're like artifacts, right? That's cool. I like it. I mean, it's makes things easier. It's always like better to know that something is there instead of just guessing. There are no microtransactions. The game is launching completely without MTX.
Lands of Pywell. Fragments have fallen to the world below and lie scattered across the continent. And discovering these remnants will be an important part of your journey.
So, like, you notice this is like maybe a complete unnecessary feature in the game. Does this have to be in? No! But it's gonna make mini games way more fun. To have like some kind of energy band claw where you can pick up items with and then float them around so you can position them where they need to be. Fine.
You'll come across artifacts, powerful items necessary to unlock and upgrade your skills. Artifacts can be earned through quests and combat, while others lie in more hidden corners of the world, waiting for those willing to stray from the beaten path. Traces of the abyss you discover will open up fast travel locations, making it easier to revisit and explore the areas of Pywell you've discovered.
I'm happy with that.
In time, your search will inevitably take you to the abyss itself. Venturing into its mysterious realms will put your wits to the test as you uncover its secrets and restore the abyss's broken balance. Across Pywell lie valuable equipment and items, some tucked away in hidden corners, others guarded fiercely within enemy camps, forts, and strongholds.
Soul Spear.
Many of the items you uncover may offer powerful and helpful advantages in combat and exploration. Even the smaller items you collect along the way can prove unexpectedly useful, benefiting those who search every path and face every challenge. The world of Pywell is rich with knowledge waiting to be uncovered, from knowledge about its inhabitants and wildlife to skills, items, and more. This information can be acquired in many ways, by interacting with characters and objects, exploring new areas, and even observing from afar.
Oh,
the knowledge you gather.
Did he just he just watched this one, right? So he turned on his watching, observe fishing, Witcher sense thingy, and he learned
interacting with characters and objects, exploring new areas, and even observing from afar. The knowledge you gather may provide clues to completing quests, open paths to acquiring new skills, or offer helpful guidance.
Yeah, you can actually read books to learn stuff too.
That's all for today's look at the story and world of Crimson Desert. In the future, we'll be highlighting combat, progression, and life in Pywell, so stay tuned. Thanks for watching,
we have these videos.
And we'll see you again.
So that was the first feature trailer, Chad. Already in this one feature trailer, well, what do we have kind of like here? You get main protagonist, we have the Pywell, we have ancient ruins, we get the faction, you get 5 areas, right? You get 3 characters in total with skill trees and weapons. We get tiny small quests, we can liberate areas. Hidden treasures, we have triple jump, grapple, we get a dragon, we get a mech. You know? That was only the first feature trailer. But there's more. They do use their own engine. There's actually a video about it here that is 9 months ago. It's the Black Space engine, as far as I understand. So they're not Unreal. It's not an Unreal slop game, right? What do gamers want? Answer is yes. So, like, when you hear all these features, you're kind of going to be like, how are they all fitting in a game? But to be honest, putting all these features in a game together is not really that hard, right? It's just a question of making them meaningful, if that makes sense. Because, how do I say this now? Like, sure, you can obviously put all these features in the game, but it got to be meaningful, right? It got to fit into the gameplay loop. But putting them all in is not the problem. Only that they have to matter. This will be a generational masterpiece or the biggest flop. Exactly. Either we're gonna get like Game of the Year or not. That's how I'm feeling personally. Okay, trailer 2, chat. Doom's Desert will be another
Hello,
Ashes
everyone.
of Creation. No, Ashes of Creation was an MMO that embezzled millions. Kill us. This has nothing to do. The game just wants your one buy price. It's not charging you $400 to play an alpha. The game is released on the 90th. Okay.
Welcome back to another Crimson Desert Features overview video. Last time we took a closer look at Pywell, its characters, the stories within, and open world exploration. Today, we'll be shifting our attention to another important aspect of the game, combat and progression. Combat in Crimson Desert is visceral, and the battlefield is yours to shape.
It seems to favor multi-enemy
You will
combat,
grow your
right?
arsenal of skills, weapons, and equipment, and it'll be up to you how you use them. Whether it's an aggressive offense, precisely timed defense,
What's that here? A block parry into a weapon swap, chat? So right here.
and it'll be up to you how you use them. Whether it's an aggressive offense,
kick.
precisely timed defense,
Into a weapon swap and then just work with stabbing.
or even using your mount and the environment to your advantage. Combat in Pywell is full of possibility. Wield a wide array of weapons from sword and shield, spears, great swords, axes, and various ranged weapons. Each weapon has its own advantages, so switch back and forth to the ones that best fit your style and the situation you're in.
What I wonder is, can every of the 3 characters wield every weapon, right? Because we see we see Cliff with sword and shield, right?
From sword and shield, spears,
He has spears, she has the great sword, right? So is it only that she can wield the great sword, or can Cliff wield the great sword too? Rigizo, there's a whole region, one of the 5 regions of Hernan, Payloon, Demenis, Delesia, and the Crimson Desert, that is the technology region. It's kind of like a steampunk technology vibe region.
great swords, axes,
See, he has the axe, right?
and various ranged weapons.
Wait, was that dual swords? Or was that cannon? That's dual swords, right?
Each weapon has its own advantages, so switch back and forth to the ones that best fit your style and the situation you're in.
Now she has dagger and shield here too.
Powerful weapon skills can be paired with hard-hitting, bare-handed hits and kicks, as well as a wide range of grapples to create seamless chains of attacks. Elemental enhancements further expand your options by empowering key abilities, allowing you to burn,
They like, you know, they glanced over that menu
allowing you
so
to
quick.
burn.
Wait.
Mental enhancements further expand your options by empowering key
So here, I want that frame, right?
And your options by empowering.
Uh-huh. So we health, stamina, speed, spirit, and you have like here these different skills that skill wheel that you can pop up. It seems.
Key abilities, allowing you to burn, freeze, and stun enemies. So combine weapons and chain skills the way you want and forge your own approach to combat. Your mobility and timing are also a big factor in combat. Slides, dodges, counters, and swings flow directly into attacks, keeping you mobile and relentless.
Look at that move with the slingshot, chat, into, I don't know.
Well-timed guards and dodges open up enemies for a counter, letting you strike back and keeping up the pressure. The result is combat that feels grounded, yet explosive and endlessly expressive.
I'm not sure about that empty-handed combat style. The game looks too good to be true. If you look at the combat and what we've seen here right now, nothing of this looks like something I haven't seen in a game before. This is like, I know a lot of people don't play many games, but if I think back about the games I played in the past 5 years, they're not doing anything groundbreaking. They're just mashing it again good together. So when you're saying, right, that the game looks too good to be true, it looks fantastic and it works, but it doesn't look like anything I haven't seen before, only that it all fits very great together. And that's not meant in a negative way, by the way.
Well-timed guards and dodges open up enemies for a counter,
again,
letting you strike back
doesn't look
and
fake.
keeping up
That's
the
what I'm
pressure.
just saying, right? It all fits together in the ground package of things. So nothing crazy groundbreaking, but all in all together will make it the thing it is.
Of course, the skills you've just seen won't all be available from the start. If you've seen some of our previous gameplay videos, Cliff is usually shown at a much greater height of his power, wielding a wide range of devastating skills.
Okay, Cliff, brother.
But when you awaken in the aftermath of the Black Bear's assault at the start of your journey, you start from scratch with a more limited set of abilities and equipment. A core part of your journey in Pywell is the transformation from a survivor into a truly formidable Greymane, and you decide how that progression takes place.
But how?
As we mentioned in our previous features video, you will acquire artifacts, fragments of the abyss that have fallen to the world below, through quests, combat, and exploration. They lie at the end of many trials in the possession of powerful bosses and hidden across Pywell, including up in the abyss. Acquiring these artifacts.
Okay, so first skill we can see. Richie, thank you for the 6 months. You read it at Crimson Desert. Yeah, it's not a desert. It's a desert. Like, you know, the region full of sand. The game is already finished. Yes, in case you're asking, chat, the game is done. So 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, Crimson Desert has gone gold. Gold means development is done. I guess only fine polish and some things missing. But yeah, they're essentially like, the game is already done. They're just showing us, like, they're teasing us pretty much here. This was the post from them. The game has gone gold. That was 21st of Jan. I mean, that development team, I can't count the amount of people, right? But that seems like quite a bunch of developers. I mean, the same amount of developers that Lords of the Fallen had. And there we knew how Lords of the Fallen turned out, right? Yeah, shit. Fuck. Remember, I don't know if you remember that post. There was a post from Lords of the Fallen back in the days. And they said, like, we have 420 developers all working on this game, and like, I found it. Ha 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 ha. This was 3 days until launch, chat. Okay, so this year, 3 days until launch from Lords of the Fallen, and they were like, 90 international developers, total 400 plus, 4 years, fully remote, 13. Wow. And then the game got released, and it was like, oh man, it wasn't terrible, right? But yeah. That wasn't too exciting. Good. So coming back to the topic. Wait,
progression.
Sorry, Cliff. So this is one of the skills that you can see here right now. You have Cliff, you have Damien, and you have Unka. So these are the 3 characters, girl and the orc guy. Stamina. Energy consumed to evade and perform various actions. Enhancement requirement. With Abyss artifacts, we can then enhance it. We can reset stats here too, right? That's a good thing. So that's some more generic stuff, but let's listen.
Acquiring these artifacts will be crucial to your progression, as they enable you to increase core stats like health and stamina, unlock new skills for more skill chaining potential, and enhance existing ones, thereby increasing your combat and exploration capabilities. Some skills and upgrades cannot be obtained through artifacts alone and must be observed.
3 types of artifacts, top right corner. Wait, I didn't look at that. Thank you. Yeah, we have 3 different types of artifacts. That's true. You get the normal ones, you get the red ones, and the whatever ones. True. So this upgrade here is just your general stamina upgrade with an artifact instead of an ability, actually.
Crucial to your progression, as they enable you to increase core stats like health and stamina, unlock new skills for more skill chaining potential, and enhance existing ones, thereby increasing your combat and exploration capabilities. Some skills and upgrades cannot be obtained through artifacts alone and must be observed firsthand out in the world.
Yep. This reminds me of Where Winds Meet. I know other games have probably done it before, but in Where Winds Meet, if you want to learn certain martial arts skills, right? There's the guy that watches a frog, and you have to watch the frog, or you're going to watch the bear to do Tai Chi, or you're going to watch a goose yell at another goose. No, yell at a bear for the goose jump. So, like, wait, you can do this in combat? Because, like, look, right? He said some...
Through artifacts alone and must be observed firsthand out in the world.
Or do you have this? Learning in progress, force palm. But here, he's in combat versus dudes, and he does, like, a body slam. And then he turns on his observation, right, to observe the body slam. And do it himself.
You may be the type to want to upgrade your stamina quickly, to run and glide around the world longer to explore. Or you may want to unlock and upgrade all the diverse grappling skills to continuously slam enemies into the ground. Decide which skills you want to combine and unleash during combat, and choose the direction of your progression by considering your playstyle.
Yeah, I like the grapple
While
moves.
learning and mastering your skills is important to winning battles, the equipment you bring to the battlefield can be just as crucial.
Okay, I'd like to read text, right? So we get the smith here, you get other traders, so all these points of interest are listed. He's people selling goods, smithy, armors, everything.
As you travel across Pywell, you can buy, find, and craft the gear that gives you the edge in combat.
Buy, find, and
The
craft.
mighty blade tests the heart of its master.
Your equipment can be upgraded for higher stats. Materials for upgrading your weapons, armor, and equipment can be found in a wide range of ways. Through mining and hunting, defeating powerful bosses, through quests and by uncovering them in hidden locations.
So you can learn skills in real time as it seems.
You will also be able to customize equipment with extra stats and special effects.
Oh, we can customize. Wait. So, equip Abyss Gear, Gale 1. An Abyss Gear that can be equipped in a gear socket to gain a range of effects. Can be equipped or removed through the witches in each region. Good. We get Gale, that's attack speed. We get Destruction with attack. So, these are sockets, as far as I understood, right? At least what it seems to me personally right now.
Mix and match these across your weapons and armor. And
Here we have it. Abyss Gear has been equipped, and it seems to have 3 slots. These seem to be locked, or I'm not sure yet, right? And then we upgrade the attack, and we get more critical hit chance or whatsoever. Makes sense. I wonder if they be lost, or if you have unlimited socketables, if that makes sense. Right? Kind of?
To discover what combinations work best for you in the battlefield and out in the world. All of that preparation leads to your greatest tests.
Wow,
across the continent of Pywell, fearsome bosses rule, waiting for your challenge.
So, there's this quest where you soar through the sky and you just randomly land on these flying machines to then walk around on them. You know?
They come in many forms, human and beast.
This is not a cutscene, right? That's the mad part. This does not seem to be a cutscene. This seems to be like a gameplay scene.
Across the continent of Pywell, fearsome bosses rule, waiting for your challenge. They come in many forms, human and beast, steel and sorcery, brute force and mystery. They'll test your limits in different ways. At the end of these hard-fought encounters, special rewards await. Some equipment earned from bosses can even grant access to their signature abilities. Or
see, like you see this shadow that bombs out of you after you beat the boss. So you beat this guy. Like, see, like he has this copy of him coming behind, and you seem to be able to get that. What I wonder too is it says beating him to get the ability, but could I not watch him to get the ability too? Crap habit. What people fail to understand, and this is important, that all these features are already implemented in BDO. They just refined for a single player here. Pretty spot on, crap habit. They're not have like all the this is not all new, right? These are all features that exist in games already, and they're just together in one game. It might be too much, but it could also all work very nicely together.
some equipment earned from bosses can even grant access to their signature abilities, or grant unique effects and bonuses. So build on the strength you gain through each victory. Take down these threats of Pywell and prove yourself a true Greymane. That brings us to the end of this features overview video. We hope you look forward to Crimson Desert's combat and your progression journey as you explore and fight across Pywell.
Between the lady.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in our next and final features overview video.
The dude and Cliff. Who are you choosing? You want to know something really interesting, which is coming in the next video? You can customize your Cliff, you can customize your lady, and you can customize your orc. So they do not have a unique look. You can actually, like, it's still Cliff, right? But you can actually change how your Cliff looks. Right? Short hair Cliff, evil mustachio Cliff, orcs with face tattoos, lady with purple hair or not purple hair. So the characters might be fixed, but you have the opportunity to still alter them a way that fits you better. Narrow char customization is downer, better than no char customization. Go. And that two-handed greatsword looks fantastic, to be honest, so far, from what I've seen. Considering all the combat I see, though, right? I mean, if you're looking at this, like, look at all the combat. It's always you versus multiple opponents. I want a weapon that does mega boom, right? I mean, that's like versus 3 guys. I don't want a single target weapon. I want an area, like always area damage, right? I hope the game ain't easy. It, like, so far, there have been multiple plays at events, and people have said that the boss fights were kind of challenging. The question is, where do you want the challenge in this game? Because it is clearly an open world exploration game, okay? Crimson Desert is clearly an open world exploration game from everything we have seen. So where do you want to apply the difficulty? Do you want to make the normal fights tedious? Do you want to make, like, this here, this combat? Do you want to spend 5 minutes wiping this camp out? No, you don't. I want to fight these guys, yes. But I want to use my abilities to meaningful absolutely destroy them. And if one of them takes 20 hits to kill, then fuck that shit. Right? Do I want, though, a boss fight to be challenging? Do I want to feel like I'm actually having, like, a good, cool battle here and the dude is actually hard, right? Yeah. But I don't want to, like, drag through the game. So the exploration should be fun, and the enemies should still be plenty and good to kill. But it shouldn't feel like, oh, another camp of enemies. I'd rather skip it. Right? It's not about health boosts, it's about timings. If I can just spam, I'll get bored. Obviously, that's a personal preference. I wouldn't mind that spamming works, because spamming is a choice. Like, you don't have to spam. You can use your abilities. Right? I mean, I just beat Neo 3 with heavy attack spam because it just worked. What can I say? I'm an evil person. But if you can do it with heavy attack spam, then, like, some people will do it with heavy attack spam. But it's obviously your choice what you do, right? Okay, now the Life in Pywell trailer. And the Life in Pywell actually shows us more about, like, how you can influence the world, pretty much. Okay?
Welcome to the last Crimson Desert Features overview video. Pywell isn't just a continent of battles and exploration. It's a world where many of the smaller moments also shape your journey and make up your day-to-day life. In our final video of this feature series, we'll be taking a broader look at life in Pywell.
This is the Greymane camp.
Your journey will be anchored by the Greymane camp, a stretch of land in Hernan that serves as the faction's new base after Payloon is lost to the Black Bears.
Grab them! Find them all!
Its beginnings may be humble, but over time, you'll be able to expand the camp with funds and resources that you acquire.
Okay, well, what can you buy there for things?
Expand the camp with.
Well, yeah, packet of timbers, a crate containing camp timbers packed to meet the standard requirements. So this is for upgrading your base,
funds,
right? Packed arms, packed stones, all that
and
stuff.
And resources that you acquire on your travels. With these upgrades, the camp will become more than just a place to rest.
See, there is house building, Chad. As it seems, like real actual house customization. Obviously, you do not have to build the host Greymane camp like that, but I assume that your very own house you could build up, right? Do you know anything about the map size? We've seen a picture of it in the first trailer. It is big, but I don't think we've seen actually the whole map. And obviously, like, seeing the map doesn't really tell you the actual size because there's still underground areas and there's the abyss areas, right?
Here, you can prepare for the journeys ahead. Prepare meals at camp that will keep up your health.
It's about time you got hungry.
Or purchase provisions from the camp vendor.
Okay.
You can also
Do we have to eat food for buffs? I'm never sure if I want to eat food for buffs or
purchase
not.
provisions from the camp
Right, so is this a restore small amount of health when consumed? It grows quickly, is resilient.
vendor.
We got meat jerky, restores a moderate amount of health when consumed. So is this going to be our heals then? Are we not drinking? Do we not have a flask? Do we just consistently have to have like food with us? Food equals to heals.
You can also go a step further and produce the resources needed
Yeah.
for cooking and crafting yourself
Harvest
by
moonshine.
working the camp's ranch and farm. A helpful option when resources are in short supply.
This is one of the features where I'm saying maybe too much, because I obviously want to discover. I want to go around in the world. I don't want to care about ranching and farming, but you don't have to, right? So this is like, if you want to, you can plant things, and if you want to, you can also ranch, but you don't have to. So maybe unnecessary feature, but I know people will love this, right? I know there's some people that'll be like, how do I have my most efficient ranching, farming features going on in the game?
By working the camp's ranch and farm. A helpful option when resources are in short supply.
So this is all now, eh?
The camp is also the foothold for rebuilding the Greymane faction, and building it is the starting point in the journey to reclaiming the Greymane's lost homeland of Payloon. The comrades you reunite with along your journey will come here to regroup, while others will hear news of the camp and arrive of their own accord.
Dude, this sentence is really interesting, that others will arrive if you build the camp, right? So you're going out, you're questing, you meet Greymanes, and they'll go to the camp. But if you build up the reputation of your camp, then other people that are roaming around the world will potentially also get into your camp. So if you don't reach a certain level of advancement from your camp, you probably never have the amount of followers that you could be having.
These Greymanes can take on several roles.
So what does it say here in the stats screen of the Greymane? So we got here, this is Luke, Ronald, Marius. I hope I can rename them, chat. I mean, you can open up their details here at the bottom, right behind me. So I hope that we can rename them, so I can name them after our subscribers, else I'm sad. And then I can yell at you and send you on death missions, right?
Greymanes can take on several roles. They can be dispatched to locations across.
So you can dispatch them. This is here the large park dedicated by Marnie to the Delesians.
Dispatched to locations across Pywell where missions can be found.
See, you bring them to this Marnie park. Required people 4 to 6. Task duration 2 days and 6 hours. In-game 2 days and 6 hours. Required currency is stone, wood, barley, and tens or gold. And then as a reward, you get reputation. Plus, if you put in the right free swords, you get more loot, right? And if they have the right skills. He does, like, Ashton has herding skills. He got fishing skills and defense. Triple defense. He gets stonemason and jeweler. Mining, smithing, whatever, right? Harvesting.
Having your comrades complete these missions will grant you with currency and resources such as wood and ore and materials required for cooking and alchemy. Greymanes can also be dispatched to blockaded locations and help to whittle down enemy ranks even while you're in other parts of Pywell.
This is what I find intriguing, because usually we saw that in the trailer number 1, you can go out and you can clear out these fortifications, right? To open them up for story progress. Because if you open this up, then new traders will be there or certain rewards can be found. But what if, like, again, you're on the other side of the map and you don't want to do this, then you can actually send your dudes out to do it for you?
Greymanes can also be dispatched to blockaded locations and help to whittle down enemy ranks even while you're in other parts of Pywell. Your journey will inevitably take you to the villages, towns, and cities of Pywell's various regions. Here, shops and vendors offer everything from daily provisions to a range of equipment and materials. A blacksmith can forge a new weapon to replace the one you've carried since Hernand, while a tailor ensures you're properly outfitted for the journeys ahead.
Oh, your wardrobe tells your story.
But commerce is only one part of life.
I'll do the same for you someday.
This is for you.
Good health to you.
The immersion rate with everything being so
My
clean.
words of praise
I'm fine with that.
shallow.
Who would have thought
There
that
are
would take
residents
so
here
long?
who are in need of someone to hear their requests. Some may need protection from bandits.
Scout in the area.
Others may ask you to deliver goods.
Oh no, it's what was the Death Stranding, right, Chad? Wait, we're getting GTA 6 before GTA 6?
Or help track down a missing person. These stories unfold alongside the region's larger tales, offering a glimpse into the everyday lives of those who live in Pywell. Spend a little time in these locations and soak in the atmosphere. Meet residents, both good and bad. Catch whispers of rumors from the locals, or engage in lighter diversions along the way.
Oh, Chad, there's fist fighting. There's fist fighting and gambling.
Terrible manners.
Just be mindful of the law.
Wait, is he stealing? Did that look like
Terrible manners.
pickpocket? You can pickpocket. Haha, interesting.
Just be mindful of the law. Harmful actions can turn residents and guards hostile, making travel more difficult.
Okay, so your bounty notice. So, it's GTA Medieval. Exactly. Theft equal bounty on you bad. So I wasn't like really hadn't seen that before.
As you're forced to fight your way through, pay fines, or even serve time in jail. Beyond the towns and cities, you'll also encounter people and come upon locations that draw you into new adventures. Like a town hidden away, home to some unusual residents.
I don't think. Let's move them.
Oh no, being
Or
stolen by tiny
locations
people.
that, whether through mechanical or mystical means, require fixing. So take in life apart from the battles and wilderness of Pywell and explore its towns, cities, and beyond.
Lumberjacking.
They can provide resources, new stories, or even just moments of levity in your journey. Cooking will be one of your essential activities. Food can replenish or temporarily strengthen your health, spirit, and stamina, giving you the edge in exploration or battle.
There's cooking.
Along your travels, you'll find bonfires and cooking recipes that allow you to prepare hearty meals. Fishing
Please don't make me cook too much.
and hunting will provide the ingredients these recipes require. While items like flowers and insects can be used in alchemy to brew medicines that enhance your combat capabilities.
But there's alchemy too?
Other activities, like mining and gathering, will also yield materials for crafting and upgrading your equipment. You can also craft more advanced and specialized tools with valuable
See, he just read the book, and you can learn blacksmithing, right?
tools with valuable resources you uncover on your journey. Shaping your daily life in Pywell also extends to customizing your character.
See, that's what we said. We got beard, eyebrows, face tattoo, body tattoos. Not too many choices, but there's at least some customization to how you want your cliff to look and how you want your lady to look, and also the
At
orc.
camp, you can adjust hairstyles and tattoos, as well as your outfits using dyes. A wide variety of dyes can be discovered throughout the world or brewed through alchemy, so experiment with the different color combinations available.
I'm gonna make an Iron Man robot. Right? Everyone is just gonna get Iron Man armor.
And that wraps up the Crimson Desert Features Overview series. We've explored Pywell and its stories and characters, the combat and progression, and the activities
Yeah,
that
Chad, there's horse taming. Because why wouldn't there be horse taming? Right? Why, Chad, why wouldn't there be?
the combat and progression, and the activities that make up life in Crimson Desert. We hope that this series has given you a better understanding of the game. Thank you for watching,
Scissors beat
and we'll
paper.
see you in
Ah,
Pywell.
Oh, rock, paper, scissors with children, Chad. And horse racing, too. What is this, arm wrestling? So all these kind of mini games just for mini gaming, I guess. Right?
You can adjust.
So again,
We've explored-
like, you know, features overview, another video full of points of what actually is to come. Can I tame horses and sell them on the black market? I mean, you can most certainly tame horses and then turn them into horse sausage, maybe. Wait, look at this one, by the way. That was also one of my favorites in the
Better
presentation.
understand-
So you can just pull back a tree and then slingshot yourself forward because, I mean, why couldn't you? Right? Why shouldn't that be a thing in the game? That you can slingshot yourself. That makes total sense. Good thing is, so we've had these 3 feature overviews, right? Including, they put out some shorts too, but the shorts are pretty much just like harping on what we've seen so far. Right, they're showing some of the features that you've seen, like the farming, the fishing, the patting dogs, the cooking, customization, all like kind of together. It will be good. It will be good, but not lasting. Well, this seems to be a 100-hour game. For how much is Crimson Desert going to cost right now? What do we have? Crimson Desert is $70. But if I get a 100-hour game for $70, I guess we're fine, right? What do you need more? And that would consider, like, obviously them not bringing out DLCs or anything. And that's also saying minimum 100 hours, right? So we're talking about main story and then whatever you can also do. Plus modders, obviously, could do more to the game if possible. Now, there will not be MTX. By the way, chat, we're not done. We have a whole interview coming. Because the guys from Dropped Frames, that's like Co-Carnage, JP, and Ezekiel, they had Will Powers over. Will Powers is their marketing manager, a marketing director. And if you, like, I don't know if you spend time on Twitter, guys, but I've seen a lot of tweets about Crimson Desert. And the man Will Powers is like, I think he just spends time on Twitter because he's everywhere. Like, whenever you see a tweet about Crimson Desert, like, the man has commented on it. And it's quite intriguing. Just go on Twitter, type in Crimson Desert, and you see the man. He's there. He's talking. So we get this interview with him where they talk a bit more about the game and many things. So it's looking quite interesting that we want to have there. A game of 100. Why some people are already complaining? People are complaining because they're jaded, right? People have been burned too many times. People were excited for Ashes of Creation, and Ashes of Creation is now a $117 million fraud, where Steven Sheriff seems to have been embezzling funds for ages. Allegedly. Sorry, allegedly. So yeah, that's, you know, that's what I've heard going on. So people are just burned. But I recently played Where Winds Meet, and Where Winds Meet was also like one of these games where you're like, too good to be true because free to play. I mean, obviously they have gacha mechanics, but you don't have to spend a single buck on it, right? And the game is also full of content. It was amazing. I mean, I'm like, here, this is me playing, what is Where Winds Meet? I've played 158 hours in a free to play game, right? That was the latest Asian game I've played. That was free to play. That was not Crimson Desert. That was not $70. And I've put on 160 hours. And I'm still playing it, by the way. And I'm still planning to play it. So I'm going to at least get like 200 to 300 hours out of the game if everything is released. So we get that interview. Should we listen to it? By the way, on Crimson Desert itself, they have like all these shorts too. But the shorts are pretty much not giving too much information because they're pretty much just what you had in the feature overview, right? That being said, if you just joined the stream, I have my list of notes with everything. So we're kind of going to make like a TLDR video where I wrap everything that we go through together, right? Especially the answers here from the interview. So let's make sure that the voices are loud enough. And tell me if the voices are not loud enough, then I can scoop them up a little bit.
Someone, I think that's a thing. Custom cat towers. Oh, yeah, that's it. I mean, like woodworking.
Bit more?
I bet they're.
You probably have to go Etsy
sure,
or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, with this thrilling conversation, I got nothing.
It's Josephus.
Oh,
It's,
I was like, what? What is
No, I
it?
think it's like Homer Simpson. I think it's actually just J.
Oh,
Like J.
Yeah, exactly.
okay.
No,
I always thought it was Wilge Powers.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's a family name, exactly.
There you go. Yeah, family.
No,
name.
some jerk AP photographer took Will Powers on all the socials, so I had to be inventive and throw in a middle initial.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Those
Well,
guys
he's got a new
known
title
jerks.
as of this week, guys. He specifically was like, JP, you need to change my title. Okay, I'm no
Music
longer
sounds good as
the
well in the game. Yes,
director
for sure.
of PR. I'm the director of marketing. Please change the title. So congrats, I guess, first off.
Oh, thanks.
As
Yeah,
we rub
it's,
it in my face a little bit.
yeah, no, I appreciate it. It's we had to adjust the font size in order to make it fit, but
I need to do something, Chad, before I get impatient with this.
That's true. Yes. No, the font
cannot
size were
watch
much
videos
smaller.
at a normal
you're
pace.
You got a long title. You got a
Blame my
long title
ADHD.
for old Will Powers. No, let's have a quick rundown. You're here to talk about a game that kind of has like this. I want to say it's been building up hype for a pretty long time. It's one of those things that we saw. When did y'all first show this? Was that 2 years back, 3 years back?
November of 2019.
Okay, that's like
7 years back. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
we don't need to math that. We don't need to. Math that.
So overall, that's why I'm here. So this game has gone through a couple lives, even genre switches. I mean, you're in game dev now. You can understand there's when it was announced, it was a different game. It was an MMORPG. It was a prequel to Black Desert. Through development, it really came into its own. But not only development for the game, the devs made an engine, a brand new next generation engine to build this game as well as future games on top of. So you can't really say it's been in development for this amount of time because that's not truly accurate. We also made an engine then. But going back to what you said, JP, I think it's really important because we were pretty quiet for about 5 years on the game because it was changing what it was. Now we're really pulling back the curtain and it's time to talk about what the game is. That's why I'm excited to actually talk about it.
Yeah. On that note, if you could finish that journey. So it started as an MMORPG, transition, change, amalgamated into what exactly do you guys classify it as it now?
Thank you for speeding it. I mean, question to everyone, chat: who actually watches the view videos in normal? I mean, I have like, how do I say this now? I have a limited amount of time per day, right? And I need to have the information from this live stream now, or from this thingy. And I sure as hell won't watch you babble on in normal speed, right? That's why I try to keep my speed pattern in videos also relatively crisp and quick. Yeah, I choose 1.5 usually, but the problem with Americans is, I'm sorry, no shout out to you, but there's a lot of slurring often happening and not too clear speech. So if you go for like anything above 1.5, even 1.5, it often leads to not understanding the words. So that's why we leave it like to 1.25, 1.3 right now.
Yeah, so genre's tough because then there's a lot of connotations with specific genres, and that's why like we'll get stuck on the developers don't want to call this an RPG, because we have an MMORPG, and with the term RPG come a lot of connotations around character creator, specific experience points and leveling systems and stuff like that. Those as players would expect them are absent from this game. However, there are a absolute.
Did I understand? Did he say no leveling? So the only thing we do is unlock abilities. Wait, did I understand that right, Chad? Right? What you just said?
Expect them are absent from this game.
I need to hear that again.
The term RPG come a lot of connotations around character creator, specific experience points and leveling systems and stuff like that. Those as players would expect them are absent from this game. However, there are a absolute ton of RPG elements. So I think that's why genre becomes a really tough thing because everyone has their connotations with it. So open world is the prevailing genre. This is probably the truest sense of an open world game I've ever played. And then the combat is very much inspired by arcade fighting games as well as combo driven and even like I think almost platinum games to a certain extent. So there's a lot of different influences coming into this. So putting it and pigeonholing into one genre isn't the best fit. So open world action adventure ish, but open world is the prevailing thing.
It sounds like Ko has never knew someone who was in a band. It's like, hey, what kind of music do you guys play? It's like, oh man,
no leveling. Well, no leveling in terms of level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, but leveling in terms of find artifacts, increase your stamina, increase your health, watch characters, unlock abilities, use your artifacts to boost abilities to then do more damage. And if you increase your health with artifacts, then you're then able to take on further challenges. I think that's what they mean with like no leveling and experience in the traditional sense. Killing enemies will provide you with bonus power, but killing enemies will not give you level 2, level 3, right? You pretty much put on equipment, get sturdier, that kind of stuff, right? And then you boost your stamina to be higher after beating opponents and after doing exploration. But you don't go through this loop of have to get level 5 to get my skill point, have to get level 10 to get my skill, probably. And then we get, you know, as Serge is saying, if you cook, you get cooking levels. If you mine, you get mining levels and that kind of stuff, I assume.
We cannot be held in by the box of definitions here. You don't ask that, man. You don't ask.
It's
kind of like a Tom York Metallica vibe, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, okay, so that actually brings up some really interesting questions as well, if you don't mind, if just segueing real quick. So
no, of course. So just overall, ask me anything. Like I said at the beginning, we're pulling back the curtain. Like this is the time to talk about the game. If I can't answer a question, that's on me. That's not on you guys. So ask me whatever you want.
Cool. Fantastic. So on that note,
Osmodeus, it's exactly like BDO helps no one that hasn't played BDO, you know? So if you're providing feedback, my friend, form a whole sentence that doesn't start, it's like BDO. It's not meant as an offense, but it's like, it's just like this game that you might have never played. And it's like, well, thank you, sir. That doesn't help me at all. But I understand what you're saying.
I definitely thought this was like a single player like RPG. That's what I was thinking, like an RPG. So is there an inventory? Am I picking up loot? Am I equipping different gear?
Yes. So there is an inventory system. It's not like ARPG, like loot drops and rolls, like you'd expect with the Diablo style or something like that. Gear is a very important part of this game, but there's a lot of unique gear within the world, and that unique gear is either obtained from bosses, from blueprints you acquire from around the world, from you crafting and upgrading, or finding within the world itself. So the loot that's dropped from random enemies is more of a, think of it as a currency or a resource-based based mechanic. But it still, that goes into your inventory system, and you have a cap on your...
So if we want better loot, we have to explore, we have to kill bosses, we have to find blueprints. That will give us unique gear pieces that will then respectively give us unique abilities. Correct? Where can you see the full video? Here you go. I posted it to... Wait, sorry, I forgot YouTube. Here you go, YouTube as well. Should be out to everyone. So that's at least what I understand from the system, right? That we're gonna kill normal enemies. You might get a shield, you might get an armor, and this, like, you go to the vendor and sell this. But then you go exploring, you find a blueprint, you go to the smith, you actually smith the blueprint, and it's gonna be a unique armor that makes your shield bash shoot lightning, right? Or we're gonna kill a boss and we're gonna get his belt, and his belt is going to give us a summoning ability. Kind of in that direction.
The slots in your inventory that you can alter based on what you do in the game.
Okay, and just to kind of checkbox it, kind of from the genre description from the beginning. So there's a skill system in regaining experience as well, kind of.
There is a skill tree that we've shown a tiny bit of, and you gain different what are called abyss artifacts through different things. You're losing my bit rate a tiny bit.
Yeah, your audio is still good though.
We can still hear you just fine.
Yeah. So there are abyss artifacts that you obtain through a variety of mechanics, whether they're found in the open world, you get them from bosses, or from simply killing random enemies to obtain these abyss artifacts, and you use those to unlock different nodes on the skill tree. So they're not. It's not strictly experience points in the traditional sense, which is why we don't want to call them that. And in an RPG sense, you're not putting them into stat points. Instead, what you're doing is unlocking the progression of the type of character that you want to play as.
Okay, so that brings up a question for me personally. If you're trying to get these, what do you call them, artifact? What?
Abyss artifacts.
Abyss artifacts. There you go. If you're trying to get an abyss artifact and an enemy has it and you're having a really tough time, like, what do you do to like upgrade yourself to take on this guy to get that abyss artifact? If there's no experience.
That's the beauty of it being an open world.
Okay.
There's no progression gating in the sense of I just need to get good in order to do this. If you don't want to do that specific boss, or I mean, maybe it's a crit path boss, then you do need to progress that in order to progress the crit path itself. However, you can just leave. You can do something else. You can upgrade your weapon.
Open world.
You can do side questing. You can find different things in order to make that fight easier for you. And that's something that I think is really interesting.
I thought you can level up weapons and gear. You cannot level up weapons and gear. You can upgrade weapons and gear. But I think that's a tier system. That's not a level system. Because it showed that you can upgrade gear, but the gear had like a 1 on it and a 3 on it, like 3 dashes. So I pretty much think you get a unique piece of gear, shield, whatever, and then it's like tier 2, tier 3, and it gets like more defense and more attack in regards to that level, probably. But that's the upgrading. It's not like level 15, level 30.
Because when people see the boss fights in this game, they immediately think Souls-like. This is not a Souls-like game. Because Souls-like, again, has connotations and has specific definitions of narrow dodge windows, things like that. This is much more combo driven, and you kind of dictate the pace of the fight. So there's no get good moment. There are definitely skill checks, and like you have to have a certain amount of in order to beat this boss. Like you need to. This will be a little bit harder in a progression standpoint, but if you can't do that and how your character is at that time, you can get additional buffs from food in camp. You can grind a bunch more consumables to make the fight easier for you. You can find a blueprint for an item that lets you revive in a fight to get an extra second shot while maintaining the same. And you can craft multiple of those. So you can over prepare and make any fight accessible to you. Does that mean the game's easy? Hell no. But I think that it allows that layer of accessibility, so you're never hard stuck, which I think is really, really important in a single player game.
Yeah, that was the answer I wanted, was like, if you come up against something that you can't do, and since there's like the experience points is not like a thing, you go out, explore, gear up, come back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or if it's side content, you don't have to if you don't want to.
But I want to.
So
come on, dude. Are you saying like you go up against a boss that just whoops your ass and you're just like, forget about it. No big deal.
There will absolutely be good moments in the game, yes, but he can't say that. There will be story bosses where if you're shit, you're screwed. And then you have to over-prepare. And then you still have to get good. I mean, there's always a certain level of get good, right? A certain level of. The question is just, how much get good do you need to do, right? Do I need to learn the perfect parry? Or is it a simple matter of fact of like getting that one skill that you repetitively can spam, right? I mean, if you have like this overhead two-handed sword smash, so if I level this one up a lot, can I then brace this challenge easier because I just go, and then I zip myself to the side and go, and the fight is won.
He's not a streamer, Zeke. He doesn't have the same ego as us, okay?
Nurgle, there have not been any word about difficulty levels. So there might be normal, easy, whatever story mode difficulty, but they have never mentioned anything in any interview, like so far in anything I have seen, that there is a difficulty scaler. The thing is, what Will said is, since the game is open world, the difficulty is set by yourself, right? You decide where to go at which point. So if you want to do bonus discovery in region 1 to be as strong as possible, you decide the difficulty. If you don't do exploration and you arrive at a boss and you're too weak, self-made difficulty, right?
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah.
So are we picking or changing classes throughout the course of the game, or is everyone's kind of playing the same character?
It is so. It's a very good question. It's your class. You're choosing your playstyle, but there is one central protagonist that you're playing as, Cliff, who has specific move sets and everything. But through progression in the main storyline, you do unlock 2 additional playable characters. They're not strictly class-based, so I don't want to do that narrow definition of them. However, they do have very different move styles, different equipment that they can equip that add variety to gameplay. So you're seeing Cliff on screen right now, but there's Damien who has a pistol as well as a long musket and a rapier that she fights with, and then there's Unka, who's an orc with a 2-handed axe, who's a really big brute. So they all have very specific move sets. They're all individually mocap, so there's a whole different feel and personality and everything that goes with those different playable characters.
Awesome.
I'm seeing a lot of, or at least a few people asking about difficulty options. Is there difficulty options? Okay.
Yeah, let's talk about that. And again, that answer has kind of changed over the years, so it's good to clear up any misconceptions about that. That's one of the hardest things about this game and it being announced a long time ago, is through official channels we had communicated certain things previously. Some of those things are no longer true as the game changed. So this is one of those things. So let's actually use this opportunity to set the record straight on this one. At this point, there is no difficulty settings. There is a single difficulty curve for the game, and that actually plays into the set, not scaling difficulty of enemies within the world. So think about that as like,
he said not scaling enemy difficulty in the open world, right? So there is no difficulty option, but enemies in the open world don't scale, which means that if I'm too strong for region 1, I have to go to region 2. So I can actually become strong, and I will feel strong, because enemies don't continuously get stronger, which is, by the way, a good thing, because there is something said about scaling of enemies, right? But if enemies always scale, you never feel strong. This is like a problem with ARPGs often, that you get stronger, but then you do harder content and everything else is stronger as well, so you don't actually feel stronger, and then you get stronger, but again it scales, and then it scales, and then and you never actually feel strong, right? But I want to get strong to then feel strong, at least in the moment where I am, right? If I am powerful in Region 1, I want to feel powerful in Region 1. And then I go to Region 2 and I'm like, ah, fuck, everyone is too strong again. That's bad. I do believe that's good, in my humble opinion, right? Okay. Let's see.
You're able to, if you get stuck on an encounter, you're able to over prepare and scale up past it. So that's what that allows you to do within the world. Again, this game is not, it's not meant to be incredibly easy. It's not meant to be incredibly hard. It's meant to have variety of content and give you a ton of options within the world. I think looking at it from a holistic standpoint, kind of the guiding principle that the developers, I talk about a lot about the developers as in this secondary group, because there's the dev team and then we're the publishing team. So I want to be clear, like, I'm not hitting the zeros and the ones in coding the game myself. I imagine the zeros and the ones as like a DK bongo drum.
That's how they do it.
That's how games are coded.
Yep,
exactly.
Yeah, everyone knows.
One has the one has the zero, and they just.
By the way, there was quickly, like, you could see here the gear upgrading that you were talking about.
That's how games are coded.
Yep,
exactly.
Yeah, everyone.
Here, so you get the hammer, enhancement complete, and the hammer, it just gets more attack, right? So it goes from tier 1, more attack, but the only thing that it says here is critical hit chance level 1, but that has nothing to do with level. That has something to do with the sockets you have in that would then increase your critical hit chance, right? So if I put in a socket for increased critical hit chance, it wouldn't be a level 1 critical hit chance, it would be a higher critical hit chance, right? That then stands for a certain percentage. We're talking about Crimson Desert, Mike. Do you think this game will flop? No. I mean, at this point, with the features it has, I can't see the game flopping in any way, right? How do I say this? Some people will probably expect too much and be disappointed. Some people will expect to be disappointed and be surprised. So far, it's very hyped and maybe even overhyped, but it also lives up to the hype so far. I mean, I'll play it day 1. I'm currently trying to get a review key. I can tell you this, right? I don't have a review key. If I had one, I wouldn't allow to tell you. No, but I don't have one. No, I really don't have one, okay? So, but I'm working with my management in the back rooms to actually get a review key so I can check out the game early. So we're ready for day 1. But I will definitely play on day 1. That's out of question. So I really don't have a review key. I'm not winking, okay? So no subliminal messages. We'll probably play like Diablo 4 on the 12th, and on the 19th this game comes out. And I already told my wife that I'm gone then. Apart from the 22nd, because one of my daughters is getting baptized there, so that's like, you know, I have to go shortly for that. But otherwise, Crimson Desert. So you're aware.
No, one has the one has the zero, and they just
and they just like they're jamming. They have their own band.
Yep.
So publisher side, we take all of that, assimilate all that information, and push it out from and make the game publishable. So I want to be clear about that definition for those that aren't. However, so the world as itself, like, it's this massive world that the variety of content in, like, is dictated by the devs. Just want the content to be fun. Anything that you do within the world, whether it's distractions, whether it's having gameplay be fun, is the guiding principle, which is really cool. I think that a lot of games have gotten away from that. So having that being kind of the central through note of all this variety of content, just we're trying to make something fun, is just really refreshing.
So
dude, that shot right there with the flying.
Yeah, dude. Well, seeing these videos and cool. Just to kind of throw in a little bit here, I think myself and many others have seen some of these preview videos and just gone, like, there is so much in these games. Like, there's so many different mechanics. There's like there was at one point in one of these trailers where there was like 5 or 6 back-to-back things, and each one of those could have been its own game. and it's just like flipping through them like cards. So my question to you is, like, were you in the room, or did you just hear about later when the scope guy got fired from the project? The guy that like stands up and says, "No, we can't do that. That's a scope." When he got canned, were you there, or was that like a find out later thing?
Well, that guy never existed.
Oh,
You know what?
okay.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
because
Okay.
and I think that that's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of this game actually, like having its heritage in a studio that is known for making live service games and is known for making MMORPGs. In terms of content, in terms of scale, in terms of feature set, that's our only point of comparison internally. So if you look at this, like this is a wholly single player game, and is meant to be. There's ways that you make and structure the quests and the world itself very, very differently to adapt to a single player experience versus a multiplayer experience. So very, very different once the course changed from a multiplayer to a single player experience. However, from a feature set comparison, I think that that's a real benefit coming from that DNA as a studio, being able to pull from of like, oh, well, we could do that over there. Why can't we do it here as well? Just because.
That's what we were saying before. He's mentioning the too many features, right? We talked about this. The game seems to have too many features. I mean, I just made myself cliff notes here. So these are like the cliff notes we've just made from the 3 trailers. And this is all like an important like feature moment of things that have been going on. So literally just the cliff notes. And what he's saying is like, since they know how to make all these features in Black Desert Online, they can replicate them in a fun way in a single player game to make it meaningful and fitting.
Because it's a single player game, why can't we have all those features? Why can't we? Why can't we? Why can't we? And instead of that being a prohibitive factor of feature creep, that's just becomes now a benefit of the studio DNA of, well, we already know how to do that. Why can't
Chillers, on the topic of fluidity, people have actually played a lot of demos of this game at fairs, and the only complaint we have had so far is that the controller scheme is awkward. So that some of the things, hopefully reroutable, were a bit weird in terms of like how to do heavy attacks and certain combos. This has been the main feedback I've seen from people that have tried it at Gamescom, at PAX East, West, GDC, whatever kind of like convention the last 2-3 years. There've been a lot of demos. And it's literally been like that the control scheme is somewhat awkward at times. But maybe that's also subject to change when it then comes out, right? Well, I'll play this game on controller for sure. I mean, you've seen the fighting. The fighting is fast-paced fighting where you have to run in circles and do moves and stuff. It's a combo action game. I mean, I don't want to do action combos with mouse and keyboard. What I hope for is that it's a seamless swap between mouse and keyboard on controller, that I can play on controller, but I can use the menus with mouse and keyboard. Again, Where Winds Meet did this perfectly. In Where Winds Meet, I don't have to leave the game to pretty much be able to access my mouse and keyboard, right? I can just go into like just swap, right? I'm in inventory and I just simply use mouse and keyboard.
can't we just do that here as well? That system's already created. Let's just do it within this new engine. And now you have these additional mocap characters, these different playable characters. You have character dyes and customizations, things that people that play Black Desert will say, "Oh, that looks familiar to me." Not identical, but that looks familiar. You're seeing that DNA transferred over and appear in a new way. So that's where I think it becomes really cool to have this game that was something else become something new and really lean into it.
That makes a lot of sense with the variety and how that's actually possible to do because it seems crazy. Just how you just casually throw housing in there, like a full building
town
city
management,
thing. It's like a town. It's wild how much seems to be in this game. Following that kind of DNA line you were talking about, the DNA of this is kind of an MMO, which definitely has a completely different flavor of monetization. What are you guys doing with this game? Are we going to see like a cash shop in here and stuff? Like how is that going to work with
this is so thank you for asking that. This is a premium game. You buy one time, and I don't want to say that there's 0 MTX because there are pre-order bonuses that we have, but anything that
there's pre-order bonuses, right? So no MTX, Chad. But if you pre-order Crimson Desert in the premium edition, so the standard edition has full game plus the Khaled shield, whatever, probably skin, I assume. And if you buy the deluxe pack, you get the Karis plate armor, helm, armor, cloak, gloves. But that seems to be most certainly just... I wonder if it's skins or actual armor, right? Because it says armor, the plate helm, the gloves, and so on. So it doesn't say it's skins. It might be actual armor that could actually be strong, right? Which I have seen in other games. For example, Wuchang Fallen Feathers did it. That the premium order armor and weapons were stronger in the beginning. And Kazan, the first Berserker, did that too. So you got pretty much a set of armor that was like twice as strong as everything you could get at that point in the early game. So pretty much to have a stronger start. Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about these. Like, I probably will buy the deluxe edition personally, simply because I need to know if these are better, right? Why is this not available on PS4? Very simple, because PS4 is outdated and they did not want to make it... They did not want to compromise. Is that not a bad thing? No, it's not a bad thing because it's optional, Frame Spy. So this is a single player game. If there is a deluxe edition that has strong armor early, use it or not, that's your it's a single player game, right? I mean, boo-hoo, pay to win. Pay to win over what? Over yourself? Like, oh no. Like, you could make the game easier if you wanted to, but you don't have to. It's your choice. Plural. The thing is that a lot of people actually say these things and mean them. It's cool that you're trolling, but the problem is that this is the internet and I see your comment and I don't see your brain, right? And your comment just indicates like, I need to throw stones at you now. Verbal stones, not literal stones.
That's announced and coming at launch is strictly cosmetic. Like there's like, those are just the pre-order bonuses. This is not...
so not like a cosmetic cash shop on release kind of thing.
No, like I can say that definitively. There is not a cosmetic cash shop. This is made to be a premium experience that you buy and you enjoy the world, and not something for microtransactions.
Awesome. It's
a monetization model. Like if you do free to play, then you need to make up the revenue in a different way.
Absolutely.
This is a premium experience. That is the transaction. Like full stop.
Fantastic. That's excellent. On that note, one of the cornerstones of this project is kind of the large world to explore and kind of. So from a design perspective, I had kind of two questions. One, does this game feature a fully breadcrumbed main story that's going to take you around the world to the like important places? And is there an ending with credits kind of thing?
Yes. Yeah. There's
Awesome.
there's a through line, and like obviously there's their main quest, main storyline, critical path, etc. That's going to take you throughout the world. You play as that central protagonist, Cliff. The elevator pitch of the story is you are a member of this clan, the Greymanes, and they are for practical purpose, they're the good guys. They're the protectors of this region called Payloon. Their enemies, the Black Bears, at the beginning of the game, destroy them and kick them and burn their countryside, their region. So all the Greymanes are scattered throughout the world. That's kind of the premise of the start of the story of you're trying to reunite and establish a new home for your faction in a different region that you're not familiar with.
Is that the home you're building?
Yeah.
Oh, damn. Oh, so you're actually building your home.
You are
awesome.
literally reestablishing your faction within the world, and you're building them up again, both physically as well as metaphorically.
It's an always online game. I mean, it's on Steam, so you probably have to be online. Not sure if there's how games are always online nowadays. Can't tell you if you can actually play it offline. Also, Frame Spy, I get your feeling that you don't like that there are pre-order bonuses and other people's might get things that you don't get. But since it doesn't literally influence your own gameplay experience, it's like that a deal with it thingy.
That's the very, very high level premise. And then you start seeing some things that are bigger than
Kyrian,
and
zero
then
MTX.
takes you through a wild ride around the world through this bigger chaos that's kind of ensuing.
Excellent. So on that note, the second part of this question, first of all, just as a sideway, is the whole world handcrafted? What I mean,
that's very I want you to define that a little bit more. There's like the world is very large, so I don't want to say every single stone is hand placed. Like I want to be very clear about that.
Absolutely, absolutely. Is this kind of like a Tainted Grail experience, Tainted Grail Fall of Avalon, where it's like there's lots of POIs concentrated in a small area, or is this more of a KCD2 experience where there's long open plains where you're traveling great distances between POIs kind of thing?
It's in between the two. There's heavy concentration in towns within the world, and there are several towns and cities within the world. But the entire area is filled with little corners to be able to explore, to be able to have things. The Another just kind of like anecdote about the how the devs crafted this world is they wanted it to be a world full of distractions. So when you set a quest marker, when you go into the map, and you're like, okay, X there, I'm gonna go over there. They want you to be distracted along the way because this is very much they didn't build a game, they built a world. Is really the thought.
See, this is important. We asked that before because we've seen the size of the map. It was relatively big. But like in the beginning on the map markers, you could see there's caves shown, there are tiny hovels shown. There is like, right? So it's like when you're going in a direction, there are multiple points of interest shown on the map as like grayed out things that you know where you could go for. But it feels like they're going like with the Elden Ring intrigue route, right? Where you were riding through and it's like, oh, there's a glowing light. I need to go to this point, right? Or there's a big enemy standing there. What is he hiding? There's a ruin I need to explore. This kind of stuff, right? Things that keep you distracted as you go through the game. There's no MTX. Money has to come from somewhere. I mean, you buy the game, yeah.
If you think about it from that sense, then everything, the systems and everything, start to make a lot more sense. They want you to get lost in this. They want you to get distracted in this. And most importantly, they want you to have fun in what you're doing in the variety of content.
Very cool.
So I worked on KCD1, so that became a really difficult question about like, I'm like, specifically every single thing is hand placed in that this, like, because of the size and scope of this world and everything, like it's absolutely massive. There's density in specific areas, but there's also variety in the corners too. So there is a reason to explore the entirety of the map.
Well, I'm just going to tell you right now that I am going to go, I'm going to target a rock and I'm going to find the match of that rock out in the world, and I'm going to be upset with you for that.
But the funny thing is like,
I was planning to do the same. Okay.
Yeah. The funny thing is like, when I play this game, like one of the things that I've done is just like look at the horizon line and like instead of looking at the map, looking in game and seeing something and just going there. Like you just see something, like you see a little tower or something on a hillside and you're like, I wonder what's there. It's in the fog of war on the map. I can't even see it on the map, but I could see it in the world. So I'm going to go there. And inevitably something's there. It's an encounter, it's a treasure, it's something that I might not even have a quest for yet.
That actually brings up a really important thing for me, and I'm not like trolling or joking, but traversal.
Yeah.
Traveling, because big worlds require fast traveling. Talk about it, please.
Oh, so just choose your adventure, Zeke. Do you want a horse? Do you want a dragon? Do you
I
want
feel like I'm part of the dev team.
Yes.
Because I'm like, wait, I know where that video is.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's Damien. So all the character, or I don't want to say, I'm trying very carefully to not make universal claims about things that I don't know. I haven't played enough Azunka. I don't know if he has an aerial traversal personally. So I don't want to make that universal claim about all the characters have this because I don't know myself. I haven't played enough as him. But so as Cliff, he has crow's wings. You see it in one of the videos. White Crow, who's a witch within the world, gives him this power, his ability to float.
I'm just surprised they could make such an ethically correct game after going down the pay-to-win rabbit hole in their prior game. Well, that's why they can make this game, right? I mean, if like they milked everyone dry with Black Desert Online, and so obviously they have the money now to make something. Yeah, that's why they can make a next gen game. Because they milked you dry beforehand. So finally they can make something like this. So this is funded by the BDO player base. If you look at it this way. Chill, the game won't have MTX. It's confirmed by the director of marketing directly. There is nothing. It's not happening. There's no MTX.
And glide with crow's Damien has another power herself, that umbrella or propeller, in order to hover or propel herself forward while in the air. So traversal within the world is very, very important, especially with a world that has the size and scale of this one, and a world that's not flat. When there's verticality to the world, it becomes important about how you get to that verticality.
So like grapple hook, triple
climbing,
jump.
Yeah. So there's grappling
climbing.
hook, there's rock climbing on almost any surface in the game. Those are the wings that I was talking about right there, to be able to fly above the world. There's a mech. So dwarven technology. Yeah. So and then of course you have your dragon that you can fly in. Instead of saying like this is a grounded RPG, think of it like a power fantasy. So these things are going to be within the world. So you see these machines right here. They're within the world, but if you get the mech, if you get the dragon, like those are gonna be very, very powerful things. So balance becomes important. These are late or like mid to late game edition. So it's not meant to be something that can just overpower the world. It's meant to be as a reward for your investment.
Okay. No, it's just like for something as big as this, like, not to bring up another game, but like the best decision Elden Ring or FromSoft ever made was giving you a horse, and that is, I just wanted to make sure that for someone who, like, I don't know, 400, 500 hours in Elden Ring, like just exploring every little nook and cranny, like that's what I want to be able to do. I want to be able to do it without it feeling tedious.
And again, I'm biased, obviously, working on the game, but in my personal experience, like I really like how we did fast travel points. I really, really, really like it. They're a reward for exploration. So here you see him flying into this area, and then something pops out. You discover something. This becomes a fast travel point. It wasn't flagged. It wasn't a reward for killing a boss even. Like you found it within the world, and as a reward for your exploration, you're able to move around the world more. So
what I do hope though is that fast travel points are easy to find, right? Because I think fast travel points itself are important. You have the Abyss Nexus here for fast traveling, right? But I don't want them to be like hidden away, right? So this one fast travel point that you could find here is obviously like really smack in the open, right? You see this kind of like this pedestal here, and you know, wow, this fast travel point, right? You know it. This is there. You can see it from the distance. But I kind of want to I want to hope that like they're not deep in a cave hidden and you can miss them super simple. Yeah, Necro, there might be primary easy to see ones and hidden secondary ones. Could be a thing.
Like you found it within the world, and as a reward for your exploration, you're able to move around the world more. So they're not these things that are centralized in towns. They're these rewards for really looking around the world itself.
So are these things you have to find, or are, if you get close enough, do they get marked on your map or anything? Or
certain things have like fog war indicators, but like they're not. It's not just completely easy to miss. But even with the fog war indicators, you need to. It's a large enough area that you need to find it. So that's, you know, that something's there.
Yeah.
You don't know necessarily where within that region to look.
I guess triple jump up and glide.
If you come upon an area and you're like, there should be a fast travel point here, there usually is. Is what I'm saying.
The indicator on the map or like fog of war for fast travel points is like, you know, it's a fast travel point. Is there. You just then you start looking.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool. I have had this question a few times in chat, and it's important to, I'm sure important to a lot of people, as far as like optimization for not beastie machines.
Yes.
I
have let me give the answer that I have given multiple times, and then I will give you a better answer. But the answer like that I've given multiple times, like it still holds true. So, and I'm looking at Yuko as you're working on a game yourself. Optimization is usually the last phase of right before release, and it's incredibly important. We are being very careful about not releasing numbers until we're able to audit those numbers and verify those. It's like, so we've shown a ton of footage on PC. We've shown footage on PlayStation 5 Pro as part of State of Play, not this one from last week, but the previous one. So there is footage on console out there. But I do understand, and not just me, the entire team understands that's incredibly important to have those specs so that you know how the game's going to run on your machine. So we're guaranteeing that we're going to release those specs before the game comes out, so that people will be able to make the decision for themselves based on that before while they can still pre-order. So we're working on something. I think people are going to be.
There's a very long not answer, but if a PS5 can run it, then you need a PC with PS5 equivalent specs, right? I mean, that's what it is. If your PC is worse than a PS5, then obviously the game is going to run worse. Assumption made.
When they see how this game runs.
Kind of a side question to the technical stuff. Have you guys announced any kind of like de novo or any other DRM that you're using?
No, we haven't announced anything at this point.
Okay. Cool.
And personally, I'm not aware of anything, but that, again, like, that doesn't mean anything. So sorry, that's a non-answer on that one, but I can't say anything definitively on that. I'm just not aware.
No problem.
Cool. It's been really interesting because I've been following the game for a while now, and you guys have been putting out these weekly videos and this like series that you've been doing. And one of the and I'm sure you've seen this as well, one of the most common statements is this game's either going to be the best game of all time with all this crazy stuff in it, or everything's going to be like very top level and not have that much depth to it. What do you like? How do you answer that? How do you answer to that?
I think, like anything, expectation setting is incredibly important, because we're showing all these features that you can do in this world. And if you understand that the guiding principle for the world and how all these features play into each other is how do we make a fun system and fun world to be able to have variety of content in, then like I think people will be really excited. But it's to answer your specific question.
I mean, it's an unfair question to ask.
But like to answer your specific question, like
hey, your game's not going to be the best game ever, right?
I hope they pull an RDR2. Well, RDR2 pulled in RDR2. I mean, there have to be next-gen games coming, right? Everyone, how do I say this now? Everyone is always so skeptical about a game like this. But when Red Dead Redemption released, no one expected it to be as big as it is, right? Elden Ring came out of the woodworks and was then as good as it was. And all these kind of games that were then Black Myth Wukong, for example, teasered for a long time, and then it just felt so amazing, right? So you have these next-gen games, and they need to drop at some point. It's okay to be skeptical, but it's like just disregarding. There have to be new games coming, right? It's Rockstar, so we believe in them. Yeah, but so like I never liked Rockstar games. So for example, for me, I never liked the GTA series, so I didn't expect nothing from RDR2 personally, right? So it's fair to be skeptical, but you should also be optimistic to finally be getting new gen games at some point, right? I mean, I generally try to be optimistic in that direction. You shouldn't pre-order. Okay, very important. No, I would not pre-order as well. If I was you, absolutely no. I mean, right now the pre-order gives you a shield. Why would you pre-order? I mean, just wait for day one, see if it runs, see if there's a day one like lag or whatsoever. There's no goddamn reason why you should pre-order. Absolutely, I'm fully with you. I mean, you might even wait for a sale, but there's like no reason. There's no, even if there was 3-day early access, why would you do that, right? I mean, I'm already happy that they're not doing this. They're not doing the 3-day early access, the 6-day play sooner, that kind of stuff, right? It's literally just the only pre-order bonus is you get a shield right now. And then buy the game after you've maybe seen day one if it actually lives up to the hype. Totally with you there. I mean, I will pre-order it, but I'm the creator. I have to pre-order it, right? I mean, the pre-order is also only $10 more, the deluxe edition, so that's actually reasonable. Again, if you do want to have the bonus armor or not, right? Down to you. But I mean, I'll obviously buy the $80 version. It's not like I have much of a choice. It's part of my job.
I dislike the comment about these are going to be shallow systems because all of these systems are engineered to interweave within like together with other systems. So by definition, that's not shallow. Like because of how the mining and the crafting and all of those work within each other, and that changes gear leveling, and that changes power leveling, that changes how you scale within the world, your character. All of those things play within each other. So by definition, like even that system existing, it's not shallow.
This is what he was saying. Like people are complaining about too many features, but if you're not mining, if you're not smithing, you're not becoming more powerful. And since you can't level to become more powerful, because sorry if you missed this, chat, we need to iterate this. There's no leveling in the game, right? You unlock new skills and you upgrade your skills by finding artifacts, and these artifacts will unlock and upgrade your skills. But since there's no leveling, you will have to mine, you will have to lumberjack, right? You will have to level up your gear to actually become stronger. Because if you're not participating then in these in-game mechanics, your base power level will always be weaker than as if you would have participated in these mechanics.
So I kind of don't like that question as a whole, because I don't think any system, like,
you have to play the game. Chillers, you have to play the game. Exactly.
Other games like make whole games on one system, and we'll never have the depth of that, because that's an entire game built on that. But I also don't want to say the systems are incredibly shallow, because they're not. Like there's a happy medium here, and that happy medium is that these systems play well with each other to create a cohesive system set that affects the world itself.
Okay.
So it's like it's a tough question, but it's like it's one that I don't mind answering, because people still have, like, we're only showing what we want to show still. Like,
I totally thought they were force choking each other for a second. I was very confused. I'm sorry.
Oh, the rock paper
They're
scissors
playing-
game with the
yeah, they're
kid?
playing Russian Blood, dude. Come on, man.
It's a child, Co. Jesus.
Hey, you said it's a sandbox game. I don't know what you can do in your game, Will.
Yeah.
I don't know how far you got.
I told you this guy's a good guy. He's not Anakin. He's not going into the Jedi temple.
How evil can you be, Will?
That's a good question. Let's go with that one, actually. Like, let's fake question, but I like it.
I want to do an evil run. Can I do that?
So we introduce a crime. We introduce a crime system, and there are things like that within the game. I think what's really cool is, again, like, it's not in RPG in the sense of like you're still,
you have to actually play the game and engage in its mechanics. This is an important point. It's actually not as funny as you think, right? Because I like to say this, but I beat The Witcher 3 on the hardest difficulty without engaging in any Witcher system. Okay? So like, when I say you have to actually play the game and engage to the systems, I think that's good and meaningful. Because, like, The Witcher 3 had, like, this potion brewing and applying those to your weapons to beat enemies easier. But I literally played The Witcher 3 on Death March difficulty, and I only learned the rune that blocks an attack. So when you make the rune, right, you can hit once and you don't take damage. And then I beat the game with rolling and hitting, and that's it. Done. So if you actually have a game that has mechanics that you meaningful need to interact with to actually improve your character, that's a good thing, right? So when I say actually playing the game, I think that's important. That's the Neanderthal way. It is, but it worked, killers, right? But it shouldn't work. It shouldn't be possible to actually do this. You shouldn't be able to beat the game, technically, by ignoring 90% of the systems and just being like, ta-da!
like, your character motivation is you're the good guys. Doesn't, like, you can make those decisions, and you can actually be rewarded.
Rune level 1
for those
run
styles that you choose. You can have gear that complements your play styles. Additional attack level based on your negative notoriety or wanted system. Like, there's layers of that stuff within the game to actually complement and reward people that want to play in that specific play style. Would I recommend like a full playthrough in that play style? I don't know. It's like, it's not, the choices aren't that grand, but does it give you the ability to have those decisions impact and have it be a choice that you want to make to, I need additional like attack on this boss. I'm going to get a crazy wanted level and see if that can spike my power to be able to do this. Yeah, that's something that like you can play around with in the systems in the world, and it might work. So I think it's less of a singular playthrough of like good, bad, or Han Solo. I think it's like how do you want to craft your play style for that individual moment?
Very cool. You mentioned the 3 different characters.
Yes.
Is that something like Neo 3, you press a button and just go between them kind of thing? Or is it more you're making like conscious decisions to play each one at a time, going to a hub, or how does that work?
There are some specific things that we are still leaving to be discovered.
Cool. Okay.
And
Spoilers.
so this like you hit one of the questions that we're leaving for later moments. But I mean, that's because we still have, was it 32 days? But who's counting? Until the game comes out. And we're doing a media and creator event between now and then. We need stuff to be able to talk about and show. We're there, so we're still holding certain cards to be able to do big reveals of those things. I want to be very clear, because one of the criticisms we've seen online is, oh my god, they're showing so much, they're spoiling everything. Fair, but also when you think about the design principle and the systems and everything and the DNA of the studio, I guarantee you we're not showing 100% of any one system even. Like we're holding cards too, and I don't. So, and especially like on the story side, like we're being very, very conscious of not spoiling the single.
There's actually 5 playable characters. So far, we only know of 3.
And do yourself a favor and go to.
Is the interview on YouTube? Yes, I can put you the link in here. This is the interview on YouTube. This is from Drop Frames from Co-Carnage, JP, and Ezekiel. They got Willpower's over. I don't know if they have more to show. I mean, we'll see. What I wonder is about the characters. So you have 3 characters, and they all have distinctive movement sets, right? And then the lady has the umbrella, while Cliff has the wings, and the ogre has, I don't know what the ogre thingy. If you're forced to play a character for a certain piece of content, right? So if it says like, hey, this one can only be done by Cliff, this one can only be done by Dana, and this one can only be done by Ugam, or however who is called again, right? So if you're forced to do one, or if you like, you know, it's like you can do everything with anything, kind of.
crimsondesert.pearlabyss.com, is that correct? I'm hoping that's correct. I'm on that page.
Just Google Crimson Desert.
Yeah. And go to their media section, and you will be inundated with information and videos and all kinds of stuff. I had no idea there was so much out there already.
Yeah, I mean, there were, let's see, because some of the assets are from when this was a different game. I think that from Gamescom 2024 and forward is fair. So we released 50 minutes of B-roll from then. We released so at that point, and this has changed. So don't definitively look at any gameplay and say this is going to be the one-to-one experience of when I play the game. That's not fair to do for any game, and as a publisher, you wouldn't want to do that because you'd ruin it for everyone else. But we want to give you a taste. So 50 minutes of B-roll from early game there. There's probably, once we did another 30 minutes with IGN first, there are hours of actual gameplay out there. And then we released a whole almost chapter of the game as part of Summer Game Fest and Gamescom and TGS and PAX West. So there's content from that chapter. Not the whole thing, because we had to edit it down so people could actually play it. But
I think I found the IGN first gameplay.
There's dozens of hours of actual gameplay out there on the internet, and that's only a small percentage of the game itself, which is crazy to say.
Moving to a different tack. Personally, I like games that have, I don't know, I'm just gonna say like a D&D term, like a charisma stat, like
Sure.
as far as like talking to other people in the world and stuff like that. Do you have like I just want to talk about like RPG dialogue stuff? Like, is there dialogue choices? Is there like a wheel that you choose from? Is there like, do your choices matter? Is it more linear? Like, talk about like the RPG.
How much RPG is in
Yeah.
this not RPG?
And I think
I love that shit.
Yeah,
So
I'm with you.
that's one of the areas where this is really not an RPG,
Okay.
because it's so character choice in terms of interaction with NPCs and stuff, especially like main storyline. Those decisions are fixed. This is a fixed main story that you're progressing through.
So
The
it's not
RPG and the
Baldur's
character
Gate
choice elements come from
Correct.
how you create your character and what sort of build and like what sort of play style that you are actually RPing as your specific character within the world, not necessarily dialogue wheel choices. So do I do this? Do I help them? How did I approach this specific situation? Did I kill the guy and get the item? Did I buy it from him? Did I sneak in? Like, there are choices that you can make but it's not a dialogue.
Okay.
And like,
But call me crazy, Chad, but I like that because coming back to Witcher 3, it's nice that you can ask them 6 different things and it gives you 7 different answers, and you can ask them 24 different things and it gives you 28 different answers, and then you spend like 20 minutes talking to one NPC. But like, I want my gameplay to actually be doing something in the world and not sitting there and listening to an NPC babbling around, right? Personally, just me. So being able to influence the decision on how to solve a quest, yes, but having to, like, I don't know, go to 10 dialogue options. I mean, sure, in Baldur's Gate it was amazing, but that was Baldur's Gate, right? That was fitting. But this is like a different game, right? It's this open world exploration. I want to go around and find stuff, find hidden treasure, go to that tower, figure out what's happening, that kind of thing. Also, to your question, my friend, so we had the question up there. My only concern is, without a leveling system, if the gear system is good, Haywood, that's actually simply answered. You don't have to level up to become more powerful. You become more powerful by killing bosses, getting unique gear, finding blueprints, making gear, upgrading gear. And enemies don't scale. Okay? So region 1 enemies are region 1 strong. Region 2 enemies are region 2 strong. Region 3 enemies are region 3 strong. Kind of that stuff. That means if you in region 1 upgrade your gear and become more powerful, then you're more powerful in region 1. And then if you get a certain level of power, you're good in region 2 and so on, right? So you do not level up through level 1 to 10. You just get stronger by progressing inside the game. Which means that, like, you don't have to kill enemies to maybe get your level 10 sword. No, you have to have a sword that you then upgrade to tier 3 to have a stronger sword, right? Or you kill a certain boss, side quest content that drops you the Spear of Souls, and then you have the Spear of Souls, which is generally a stronger weapon, and then you find some mining stuff that allows you to upgrade the Spear of Souls, and then you keep the Spear of Souls for the rest of games, right? But you don't have to get to level 20 to then drop level 20 weapons, right? Which would be stupid. So you don't also have to go to region 3 to then drop a region 3 weapon to use a, like, right? So you can have a region 1 weapon that's good, and then you just keep upgrading it to the respective tiers and just carry it throughout the whole game, potentially. But you're not going through level 1 to 50, kind of. You can just go to the vendor in town. Like, you go to region 2, you go into the next big town, you buy yourself a sword from the smith, you're good. Boom. It's not an RPG in the terms of dropping loot in different rarities, and then you pick up different rarities, right? And then you get 10 more strength or so.
Curious if there was, like, you know, wheedling and convincing and charming, and that brings up another question as far as romance goes.
There are no like individual, like, charisma, or like you have stat points, not skill points. So like you have your HP, you have your stamina, and you have your mana, and you have your MP. That you can dump things in, like the core pillars of, like, the character that you're building, and then you have individual, like, skills within that that you can unlock. But it's not within that. It's not D&D. Like, this is, you're not rolling for, you're not doing a dex saving roll.
Cool. I'm fine with that. I was just curious, like, how much charm I would need if necessary.
Yeah,
but...
I mean, this, like, there are, whether it's Ultima, whether it's Baldur's, like, there are a multitude of different games built on the D&D system. This is not built on the D&D system.
Right.
Which is good. Okay. Thank you.
In terms of the size, we've heard many times kind of how vast and large this experience is. What kind of gameplay time are you guys ballparking? And I mean, like, very ballparking. But, like, is this a 30-hour game, or is this like a 100-hour game?
You're going to spend a lot of time in this world. I'm going to do the thing where I will refuse to give an hour. I will be consistent in my response on that one, and that's I'll explain it, though, like, just because there's no answer I can give that will make people happy. And if I give a large number, then that'll scare away the people that don't have a lot of time. If I give like the crit path number, then there might be some people that are just like, oh my god, well, I'm going to do an hours per dollar gameplay calculation, and that's not enough for me. So there's no answer that I can give that's going to be acceptable to everyone. So I'm just refusing to give an answer. The game's big. This is a big game, and I think that the one caveat I want to put there is this doesn't require like 4, 5, 6 hour time sessions if you want to have fun in the world. that's something that's been unique for me in the several hundred hours that I've played it across multiple builds. So don't read into that, internet. Um, so I can have 1 hour and still have a lot of fun. I'm choosing what I want to do. Do I want to progress my main storyline? Do I want to progress side quests? Do I want to mine and find resources? Do I want to just...
If your rush main quest is probably a 30-hour game, most certainly, considering that Elden Ring, like, I mean, let's look at Elden Ring, right? Elden Ring is a game where you have to kill Margit, then you kill the guy, the lady in Raya Lucaria, you kill another seal bearer, then you go to the Elden Beast, and you're done, right? So technically, there's nothing there. I mean, Elden Ring is actually a terrible game from a game line standpoint. If you just do the minimal thing. A release on the 19th of March, so just around the corner, pretty much. So yeah, if you just rush the main quest, you're obviously going to have a short game. But that's like you're shooting yourself in the knee, and then you're like, oh no, someone shot me in the knee. Who was it? Damn.
Explore the open world. I can have a lot of fun no matter how much time that I have to play the game, which that's actually, sad to say, pretty unique in an open world game to be able to have that choice about length of gameplay, because a lot of times they require a specific amount of time investment to even get into the world.
Okay. So you're saying the main story is drastically short, but you have the side quests. You can do it.
I'm leaving.
So yeah, okay. So I take that answer and I'll go, okay, but I'm like, so how long's the main story? How long's total exploration? How long? No, but
Yeah, I
I
mean,
see where you're coming from. From a marketing perspective, that answer makes a whole lot of sense. Like it doesn't.
But it's not even. It's not even within that. It's like no one plays Crit Path. So like we showed in this latest feature, like we showed the quiet moments. We showed the life skills. We showed if you want to really invest, you can do farming in your camp. And you can raise the crops and raise the animals that then you can slaughter and harvest to turn into food to feed you. Like, if you want, you can very easily spend hundreds, if not thousands, of hours in this game. Like, but that's all player choice. Like, does that mean that that's a requirement in order to play this game? No. Are the systems there in order to allow for that? Oh my God, yes. We've built a world, not a game. I go back to that. Like, if you want to, like, there are the systems that are set up to allow you to just spend time here.
And fishing. Fuck fishing.
So on that note, like in a quick two-parter, how does the day-night cycle work? And is there a global time thing that's also moving forward? Are we going to see seasons and stuff?
Day-night. So there is a day-night system in the game. I don't want to say a specific number because I don't know if it's changed. It's changed multiple times, but like I don't want to say like it's 1 second per minute. But there is a global day-night cycle for the game, which is actually really cool, especially at night, because it's also a panning and moving skybox. You see, not the Milky Way because this isn't Earth, but you see like what would be akin to the Milky Way moving and panning.
Yeah, so the footage just sped up because they're talking so slow, and my brain falls asleep if I hear them talk at 1 time speed. I'm sorry. So we're watching this at 1.3 times speed. The footage in the background is also sped up, obviously.
Through the sky, like the game has that attention to detail. It's really, really gorgeous. And then things like altitude come into play when it comes to weather. It comes to like things like that. So day-night cycle matters in more than cosmetics, which is cool. There aren't seasons in the game, to my knowledge. I'm gonna say no. I haven't seen
no seasons. I'm out.
In my experience, but as we all know, sometimes devs put things in the game that not everyone knows about, but I haven't seen them.
It does look like there's biomes though.
Oh yeah, totally. So like it's not you progress to day 30. It's not Stardew Valley where day 30 and then you're into autumn and then you're into like right. It's not that by any means. There's a day-night cycle that changes things, but beyond that, then there's not, okay, I've spent 30 days, now I'm into like another season. The biomes or the regions look drastically different. And that becomes really cool because it feels like you've progressed when you're in a different area. So Payloon, which is the home of the Greymanes, like you see there's a lot more, it looks like there's a lot more reds and redwood in that area, like from a color scheme standpoint. The fauna is different in those regions. Like so you see the devs have made these bespoke in terms of the nature of the fauna, the animals, the NPCs, like that are within those regions to make them feel like different regions, feel like different cultures. it's all to make like this be a world that feels like a world. And when you go back to the DNA of the studio of creating these worlds like that are meant to spend all this amount of time in, it starts to make sense. So that's whenever anyone says like there are so many systems or there's so many things, like how can this work? It's like, just look at what the devs know. Look at the heritage there, and they're taking that and applying to this single player experience.
You mentioned we were talking about like biomes and whatnot. Is there any underwater stuff, like points of
no underwater stuff, please?
Can you
nothing
swim
that
underwater?
Okay. Nothing that we've talked about so far. So
okay, fair enough.
That's fair.
There are like, and this is going to piss off our Discord who's been hammering me for this one. There are ships in the game. You can go to them. Okay. I'm not going to tell you if you can sail them or not, but you can go to them.
There you go.
Fair enough. Yeah. I saw a lot of questions about sailing and low and high tides and all this stuff.
Well,
they all have super anchors. Oh man, bummer.
Well, that's their own fault. They spelled naval wrong when they asked the question.
There you go. Hey, spelling mistakes are easy. Zeke knows all about it. You know.
Real quick before we move too far from kind of the world immersion, weather. Can you talk a little bit about the weather system and how that kind of works in the game?
Yeah, it's dynamic. It calculates based on the weather patterns in the world, and as well as the temperature. Like if it's so you see in the B-roll that's happening on the bottom left, like the Celsius temperature right there, that's calculated based on elevation, based on like weather cycles, time of day, and then if the calculations for wind and precipitation like have rain or snow based on that, then you see that be calculated it's all happening in real time.
You can assassinate
like,
people too, Chop.
This is
like
a really
that.
cool thing
right?
that is possible because of the engine that the team has made. So
Play
all of these
to a
things are just
degree.
happening and being calculated naturally in real time, which makes this feel like a really alive and world that you're interacting and living in.
So the winds are howling.
Yes.
Sometimes there's no biomes.
Yeah. Sometimes it depends on. Well, here, I'll get into some fun stuff. This is the annoying thing about demoing this game. I can run the same demo. So like at like Summer Game Fest, like we had four stations and we ran for 3 days, every hour on the hour, like nonstop. So they're like 96 appointments, just back to back nonstop, no breaks. It calculates the weather and the temperature and everything bespoke every time. So every demo is different.
Yeah.
Just like we're like, oh, we get good weather, we get bad weather.
Game.
Like if I wanted to show off the skybox, like, oh,
no
microtransactions. Crap. So it makes this like, that's the beauty as a player. But it's the annoying thing as showing off this game is like there's not consistency in the same giving the same demo. And that's one.
There's no warrior monk. There are no classes. There are weapons and there are skills. And you have to unlock skills and weapons plus special weapons and skills by watching bosses and special skills from killing bosses and their respective equipment. So you can probably make a monk and you can probably make a mage, right? But it comes down to specific stuff, very specific stuff, right? So definitely no classes, but you could play like a warrior. And you could most certainly play like a mage. But you have to find the stuff first, right? You have to then kill boss X who has a certain stuff so you can shoot fireballs. More or less. Steven, thank you for the gifted membership. Also, Richie, thank you for the 5 gifted on Twitch. Very kind of you. Pretty much build your own beer workshop.
Thing that I've seen online is like, as the internet does, they'll compare screenshots from the same boss fight or the same thing that we've shown off previously. They're like, oh, the graphics have changed. It's like, actually, that's all of our cutscenes are rendered in engine based on time of day. So that's just lighting. Like, so you can have the same boss encounter and if you do it at night or if you do it during the day, like the lighting is completely different.
So it could be like during the day, totally clear, or at night when it's pouring rain. Like completely different vibes in those two encounters. That's
and
cool.
that can really influence your perception of that as a player. Does it have gameplay implications? Probably not. I mean, it might be harder to see at night in certain instances, but is it just cool and atmospheric? Yeah, it's not disruptive and break immersion of changing the time of day to a set time when just because you entered a boss fight.
Got it.
So somebody asked a question that I'll ask kind of like the umbrella question. So somebody said,
Sure.
can you increase the the size of the font on the screen? And that's going to lead me to my next question. Like, how is accessibility in this? Like, what are you guys thinking in terms of that? How much can we change and everything?
UI, there's a UI slider. I haven't messed with it personally, so I don't want to commit to like how big it can get. I'll mess with that between now and in the next week just to be able to do follow-up questions on it. But yes, there is a way to adjust some of those things. UI being the easy one. You're probably going to ask
as an older gamer, we need bigger chat.
Yeah. So, and I mean, that depends on screen size. If you're having this game on like a 65-inch TV in your living room, that's very different than having it on your 27-inch monitor at your PC or something. So there is a slider for UI that you can adjust based on what your situation is.
Awesome. And fully rebindable controls?
We're talking about that later.
Okay.
So that's one of the things that
Lucas, no, this is meant as a single player game. Crimson Desert is buy, play, beat, done.
Right. But it's
or beat again.
Hear people.
And
it's
again,
on our radar.
again.
We'll have a better answer for you before launch.
Cool.
That should I just want, not just you, but any dev out there, that should always be. That should just be along with skippable cutscenes, rebindable controls.
There you go.
100% for every game.
So let me talk about it for a second because it becomes a little bit more complicated. That's because this is not an excuse by any means, but it becomes a point of conversation. We've shown off a lot you can do in this game in terms of skill sets and everything. There are only a singular amount of buttons on a gamepad. So then it becomes the devs have worked very, very hard to make these button presses make sense both in and out of combat. So the button for grapple is also the button for grab out of combat. So naturally, like as you're playing this game, your muscle memory will develop. Because of that, there are so many intertwined systems that it becomes very difficult to do just say, let's just rebind that command because those systems are tied together.
I like the constant throwing away of enemies.
So we're working on it. We're trying to figure out a solution, but it's not as simple as it would be in other games, which is why we're being a little hesitant about it.
And I gotta be honest, and I gotta confess that I wasn't even thinking about controllers. I really wasn't. Like when I brought up that question, I was not thinking about the limited number of buttons on a controller.
Well, Zeke, like how do you play third-person perspective games? Like, do you play it with a gamepad? Do you play KBM? Like, how do you play?
Well, it honestly depends on the game, but more often than not, controller. And I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
And that's like it. There are a set number of buttons that you have on a controller. Like, so how do you account for that both in and out of combat without completely disrupting the systems that make these buttons make sense both in and out of combat? And so we're working on it. We'll have a better answer before launch, but I just want to explain that it's not as simple as just turn on the customization button.
Yeah, no, for real. Like I retract the
just turn on the customization.
Oh no, dude. Well, I've been working in this space for 20 years. I've never had this problem. Like this is a new situation, which is why I think it bears a full explanation. We're not being jerks about not allowing customization. We're trying to figure out a way to do it correctly.
Sure. Yeah.
True. Yeah, I was going to say it'd definitely be a very solid direction to make sure. A lot of times it's the things that you may not necessarily think about. Like if somebody cannot physically reach certain buttons and needs to move them so they can play the game, it's one thing for controls to be intuitive. It's another thing to be able to use them at all. So having fully rebindable can be very important for that.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. But I see where you're going with your answer too. And we're already running into some similar stuff on our side with that too, where it's like the conjoined stuff. I mean, FromSoft has been characteristically never broken controls in some of those cases because it just doesn't, it's a hard thing to do. So that makes sense.
Right. And accessibility becomes this really difficult topic because if you do it halfway, then you're a jerk to the people that you're leaving out. But if you don't address it at all, then you're being a jerk to so it's a very, very sensitive topic and we're trying to approach it mindfully is what I can say. We're aware, we're on it. We're trying to have the right answer for it.
That's a great position.
Neo 3 did this good with like minimal, like they gave you 5 different controller schemes, right? With a little bit of customization on what each button does, but it was still like customization in a constraint, right? So yeah, like see there, Mr. C, Neo 3 did it good. How hard can it be to give 3 full prefrets? And I don't know how hard it can be, Rao. I'm not making games. I'm just saying like how I notice it, right? Mu 3 did it good. Maybe listen to, but maybe try something in that direction. But yeah, I mean, usually I just like, I'm a simple man. When I play a game, I just get used to it. But I'm also don't have any disabilities, so I don't need a certain level of customization. I understand that there are people that have, like, they need customization because they can't simply do certain actions with their controller. And you obviously do have to take that into consideration, right? But yeah, I don't have these problems. So, as you say, how hard can it be? But maybe it seems to be hard. It seems to be similar. Okay, the one thing we can say so far is that the main complaint from playtesters have been that the controls are somewhat awkward, but you get used to it. Right? That's what we can say so far. Again, you know, it seems to be so far awkwardish, but you get used to it.
That's a lot more than a lot of games take these days. So that's a good position to hold on it for sure. Excellent.
Cool.
Go ahead, JB.
Well, I was going to say, with tons of questions in chat. I will say, from a community perspective, you guys have some pretty diehard fans already. Who are really
you have a
begging-
diehard community.
Yeah, you have a diehard community. Yeah,
Yeah.
Which are really wanting some nitty gritty. So maybe I'll do some lightning round here in just a sec.
Yeah. Well, can you hear me, or did my voice?
You're
can hear you
perfectly
just
fine. Voice
Yeah.
is perfect.
Okay,
The audio, as long as you are still broadcasting, we will hear your audio.
Yeah,
so we're good.
Yeah. So I think that I want to go back to what I said at the very beginning, is that this had been almost a secret. Like, it had been like this thing that was under wraps, and we were being very calculated about the little things that we were putting out for the longest time. And there's been an abrupt shift, probably January of this year, so within the last like 60 days, of just transparency, of like, we're ready to talk.
Yeah.
Like, and we're saying everything. Like, we're ready to fully address. I don't think a lot of people and a lot of
I'm actually really happy that they're doing this, right? Not many games do this before because they're, I don't know, they're too scared to show too much. So, and then people don't buy. But right now, the more I've seen from Crimson Desert, the more I want to buy the game, because it just seems to function the way I would like it to function, right? I mean, there's something to be said about the intrigue of getting a game and then being like, what the fuck? But on the other hand, I kind of know to a degree now what to expect and what to not expect. Tempering expectations, right?
communities have experienced that. Not just the transparency, but the shift is so dramatic that it becomes almost a thing in its own. And
Danku, there were a lot of answers earlier.
That's evangelized the community around this game.
There were a lot of answers earlier in the video. The recent topics have all been a bit vague. So there was more about like, how does the leveling work? How does the gear work? How does the progression in the world work? So that was all definite answers. Also on the difficulty, that there's no difficulty options. No monetization. Like all like the last 30 minutes so far of this have been rather vague topics in that regard.
Of
no early access. No,
they're making the game.
Maybe a review access
one day early on,
which I'm trying to get.
Questions. Which I'm glad that that's seen, because that's what we're trying to do. Because from a DNA of a studio standpoint, again, so we come from a live service heritage. So without our fans, we are nothing as a studio. So that's like addressing, and like we're doing this for the fans becomes incredibly important. So that's always like kind of at the root of the decisions and the choices that we're making and how we're communicating. So I think that this really inspired a community that rallies around us, and it's nice to have their support, to be honest.
Yep.
Awesome.
Deke, you're gonna ask something?
Still not answering all your questions, community.
And somebody pointed this out. Somebody at the beginning was like, I thought Will was going to answer every single question. He said we could ask any question. He didn't say he would answer every question.
Yes.
Those are two different things.
And also, like with a game like this, and with as fervent of a community as it has, there's going to be too many questions. There's going to be such a thing as like
you don't want to answer. Sometimes.
Well, and also shit that's been answered, 100 times before that keeps getting brought up because no one bothers to look to see if it's been answered.
But like the community is really good, like about directing to and no.
There's a main story, Justin. So did he talk about is there an actual campaign? There's a main story, main storyline with also fixed moments that you pretty much have to solve to progress the story. However, there is complete open world and you can go anywhere you want. You obviously have to keep in mind that enemies don't scale, which means if you go to region 3, which you might not be able to because something is blocked by a boss, right? There might be a fortress that's blocking access to region 3 and you need to beat that boss, so you need to be a certain power level. However, enemies don't scale, so they're as difficult as they are. And if you're too weak, you're too weak. So you have a complete open world, but you still have to progress through the systems to be able to discover said open world. There are side missions. There's ways to advance also regions, right? You can help a region. Like, let's say there's a city that was burned down, and you can then help the villagers to rebuild said village. And if you then have the village rebuilt, there might be a new vendor that wasn't there before. Right? My concern is that a game going to be very generic bland in terms of world building, beastie. They have made BDOs, so they have some experience about making a big world full of stuff. I know a lot of people like Skyrim, but generally speaking, like, you know, you had Skyrim 2 where you had all these regions where you go through. Technically, after a certain while, everything becomes bland. What I want to say about open world games, right? As much as I personally like open world games, if you spend enough time in an open world, no matter how much they have to offer, at some point it will get repetitive because there's only so much you can do, right? I had the problem with Assassin's Creed Valhalla, great game generally, but after I put in 40 hours, I was just like, I can't be asked to raid another monastery, right? I just, like, fuck that shit, right? I've raided 10 monasteries. The 11th one is not going to make me happy because it's just the same again.
When information is out there, the difficulty becomes when things had been said from official channels previously and are no longer accurate. I think a lot of those things have been corrected. Like, there's a very small subset of people that still think the game's MMORPG. Like, that's a new challenge, correcting information that, well, because it was accurate. That was the case. And so, and I think that's the beauty, is some of those things, because of that, built the systems that make this game so unique. Without that heritage, then I don't think there would be all these systems and all these things that make people say, I've never seen a game like this. That's why.
Quick, speaking of which, this is purely single player, right? Did you guys bring
purely single player?
Okay, cool. So there's no, like, okay.
This is a purely single player game.
Very cool.
I would say that on the investor call last week, they said that they would investigate potential stuff post-launch if it made sense, but there is no multiplayer elements that are being developed at this moment. They will be investigated post-launch. Like, there is nothing we are holding back from the launch of this game for 30, 60-day content like that. We are putting everything into launch.
Cool. Also, I'm not sure why the Crimson Desert community has this fascination with water. I look over on YouTube. Ask him why the mech suit looks like a diving suit. Ask him.
I don't know. Like, it's because bathyspheres are cool. Like, I don't know.
There you go.
There you go.
There you go.
Big Daddy influence. That's right.
Yeah.
That looks Goblin is dangerous, chat. Look at him.
I've collected
Go all out.
I have a few of my own.
Yeah, that can be like yes or no answers. Dungeons. Are there caves that I can explore? How deep? How expansive is that? Yes, no.
There's tons of hidden corners in the world.
Okay.
There's tons of stuff. I don't want to say like dungeons because that evokes certain like depth and like monsters, and like there are a lot of hidden places in the world that are outside of eyeshot if you're just staying on the surface.
Okay. Is there like a hunting system? We saw like some camouflage elements in some of the stuff that.
Yeah.
Okay.
We saw him hunting, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. There are different stats and different perks for different types of armor. Like that was like a ghillie suit.
Yeah.
So you can imagine that it would scare away some hunting beasts less.
Well, don't scare away my dog, Will.
Quick little side question. Do you guys fully track all of the different things in the world? Like, if someone wants to do like 100%, where they make sure they've hit every spot, like, is this the kind of thing where you can open a world map and see like 0 of 12 dungeons, or is there any system to kind of flag the player
That's
to
a good
finish
question.
an area or a region?
Yes. I'm being a little cautious of that answer. It's like, it's not on the map. There's no check mark that goes on the map or stuff. But in your journal and quest progression, you can see based on region, based on faction and house, whether you've done all the quests, whether or not you still have quests to unlock within that house, whether or not there's more. So there is a way to tell, but it's not like by just graying out or like checking off the region within your map.
Cool. Can you fight fully unarmed?
Sure, just unequip your sword.
Okay.
Wait, follow up. Does it work fighting unarmed in this game?
You can, yeah. There's an unarmed power stat like on your skill, like
Okay, cool.
about like how much damage it does. So you can. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it. Based on
Can you
the
dual wield?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Okay.
You've seen it. Kicks,
that's right.
punches,
Yeah,
throws.
no, it's a great question. We showed it off on the trailer features video 2 for the first time.
Yeah,
So
there's kind of
that hadn't been shown off before that.
Cool. So Steam says 135 gigs needed for the install.
Yep.
Is that suggestion? Is that file size? Like what? How big's the file size going to be for install? Have you guys said exactly? Is it 135 and that's that?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Because this is a seamless open world, the file size needs to be fairly large in order to have the world and to like have it not load. So a lot of that file size is the world.
Okay.
Itself.
I wonder how seamless it really is, considering that, like, how many loading screens do we have, right?
Gotcha.
So that's
How often is
that's
gonna feel
why
like
you're seeing that. It's because of the
traversing
size and
to
scale of the
somewhere.
file itself.
Gotcha. Can you disable screen shake? Kind of going back to accessibility.
That was one of mine. Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Great. Is there a gear transmog system to where, like, if you want to always look
Fine.
a certain way, but you want to wear the better quote piece of gear that gives you the stats you want, can you wear that and still appear one way?
I don't know.
Okay.
I haven't seen it. That doesn't mean it's not in the game.
Sure.
So anything I'm not sure about, I want to caveat that. Like it's personally, I don't know. I haven't seen it. It doesn't mean that it won't be added to the
I mean,
game.
there's
but it's
dies,
just,
but I'm not
as of
sure if
this
they're going to be
point, I haven't seen it.
transmogs, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it's a major amount of importance for a minor amount of people how much fashion you can do.
Look, well,
can do
I
a
want to
ton of that,
fucking
like-
slay if I'm out there slaying. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you
More importantly,
understand. I get you.
I don't want to be a badass while looking like a clown.
So I want you to. So you're on the feature video
wrong.
3 right now.
I want the
There's
biggest clown
just
ever.
There
go
was a
to
die
the-
system. Yeah. If that's what
Yeah,
you're
go to
referencing.
that. Go to that
Yeah,
screen.
yeah.
Let's just talk about that screen. There you
There it is, right there. Yep.
That's hair dye. Go to the armor dyes right after this.
Yep,
Yeah.
there you go.
So pause right there. You see the different armors on the left, right? So and then parts of the individual armor. This isn't like this is chain. And I don't want to be definitive and universal of like every element of every piece, but this is not just like change your shirt to blue. It's what part of the shirt, what color. Like this is a very, very detailed customization standpoint for majority of items in the game. So
Cool.
this is
I got to be honest.
see-
If this system is this advanced and there's not a transmog system, I would be almost surprised. Like, good God. This
well. That's the
this
thing
is
is like
wild.
so.
Also, the armor sets are gorgeous. I have to
Yeah,
Yeah, they look really good.
because of the detail of this, I don't know to be honest. Like I think that they want you to customize the gear that you're wearing.
Mm.
If I were to take a guess, rather than have person
Yeah,
look
rather
universally
than
the
be
same.
able to
But
make the gear look always the same.
yeah, I think that's. I just want to lean into the amount of like. There is a ton of customization within the individual elements, like the pieces of the gear and the individual colors of it. Like there's a way to make the character your own, and that's from gear, from facial tattoos, from hairstyle, all of those things. Like make that your character. This is a set protagonist. Make them your own.
Cool. Someone was asking about the like marketing path. I'm sure there's more updates all the way up until release. You guys are kind of saving stuff, so it's in the conversation week after
I
week.
don't understand why the community keeps asking that question. Why would I tell them what we're doing from a marketing standpoint? And like, it's not to
Well,
talk.
it's like I feel like
Will, they have to start writing their Reddit posts and tweets, man.
Yeah,
like, this
no,
stuff
but
takes
like,
time.
this is a weird thing. Like I've never like again like I've worked in games for almost 20 years. I've never had someone ask me what I'm doing next for marketing.
it is a weird
This
thing.
is what you find out. It's like, who's asking that? Oh, I work marketing at a different company. This has been going
like, why
really
would
well,
I-
and I'd like to
why
know
would
what
I
you're doing.
allow us to be T-boned? Like,
Yeah.
there's
It is kind of
there's
like the
mount-
evolution of a fan. I feel like in today's day and age,
Yeah.
right? Where
like,
they're
there's Mouse
keen on this stuff.
PI coming out on our date, which I'm gonna play as well. Like, why am I gonna tell them what I'm gonna do for marketing?
Yeah.
Just be like, I will give you your answer a little bit each day up until release.
I'll give you a letter a day.
Just watch.
And
Yeah,
also
you
like
can just watch.
also
if you want.
marketing means very different things to different people.
That's
Like,
true. Yeah.
And I think that's where it's like, okay, these are effectively these are community pieces we've been releasing. Like marketing is like means like putting money behind assets and like really expanding the audience.
So
So
multiplayer, yes.
I'm definitely not telling what we're doing there, like how we're spending our money.
Yeah.
But I think that there's I think there's a concern that we're not releasing anything else, which I'll just point to, like, we have our creator and our media event at the end of the
Can you
at the
parry?
end of the
Yes, there are
month,
parries and
that we've
parry
announced that we're
skills.
doing globally in multiple regions. That like stuff will come out of that.
Cool.
So
You could also go on podcasts and talk about the game and answer a bunch of questions.
That is
No,
true. That might be a
no.
thing you can
My
do.
internet's trying to prevent me from doing that.
Yeah, well, that's also true. That's also true. Let's see. I like it. Are there any different dragon types, or is it just a dragon? Dragon
How much can you
customization?
customize it? Yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
Play the game.
Can I armor it?
Like,
Okay, that's fair. Okay.
yeah.
Play
Like,
the game.
sorry about that. Like, but
I like someone in my chat said, "Can you play Gwent?"
Jesus
we
Christ.
just showed gambling. Like, there's
Yeah,
gambling
there's some
in this game.
gambling. There's some gambling.
Yeah.
No, I think he said. He actually did say.
a question off of my lightning round.
Yeah.
No, to be fair, I think he actually was saying, "Is there like are there Gwent style games in it?" But I think we just saw that earlier. You guys have like little mini games.
Yeah,
like
Yeah,
that.
there's a ton of different mini games, including
Lots of gambling. Yes.
There's gambling. So there'll be fun games that and this isn't Texas Hold'em or anything like that. I think that this will be games that a lot of people will experience for the first time. So
Now, here's a really important one. Can you romance the
I was
dragons?
just about to read that from the Steven.
Yeah.
I swear this is coming from the New Game Plus showcase that we did, where the first question I got asked was by Luality,
Yeah.
and it was can you sleep with the dragons in the game?
That's yeah. You know, that checks
Okay,
out.
that was already answered. Okay, cool.
Yeah, no, well, I gave him a
Important
non-answer.
question.
I said
People want to know.
I said you can form a relationship. I don't know if it's the one you want though.
Very true. That's some director of marketing, not of PR,
Yeah,
of marketing right
you
there.
can ride the dragons. Read into that however you want.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Whoa.
Fair enough. I'm good. That's all I got the answers.
Scaly's going wild right now.
I wanted. Yeah.
I have a few.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
Someone asked, as far as if you get a hard copy on console, is it online only or can you play it offline?
That goes back to like the kind of the de novo question and stuff that I just don't I don't know. So I don't feel comfortable giving a definitive answer to that one.
Okay.
I would say, and this is
How long is the story? We didn't get an answer on that, but it's pretty much down to how much you discovered the open world, right? I mean, main story is never going to be longer than 30, 40 hours maximum, right? That's just the campaign. If you then don't do anything bonus, if you don't do any discovery, right?
something that's not fully understood by communities. So I want to take a second here. Update the game. Like if you get a hard copy, please patch the game. Like in order to create hard copies of the game, like you have to print those weeks before release, and then the developers spend weeks continuing to make the game better. Please don't do yourself, don't do yourself a disservice, like, and not update the game. So please do that. With that sense, online required in order to have the best experience. But from a DRM standpoint, I just don't know the answer.
Cool.
There were a lot of mini games shown.
Yeah, we saw some.
Oh, yes.
These are a lot of these are just gonna be yes or no.
Yep.
Okay. I am a person. This is a personal question that I wanted to answer. I'm
You're
a
a
person
society?
who likes. I'm a human man. No, I'm a person who likes the option whether to do melee or ranged combat. Like, is there like, can I just do full on range? Is there magic, like mage-ish kind of things? Maybe just even like alchemy, like firebombs and stuff or something.
Yeah, I don't want to say like mage build because of like not classes
Right,
purely, but
right.
from a skill and unlockable. I want to say like tactics more and like move set standpoint.
Right.
You can unlock a lot of range stuff to make like a ranged build pretty viable. But then, like if you have a boss arena that's close quarters, like you might have pigeonholed yourself a little bit there. So
Oh yes, I'm aware. That's something that I've
Yeah.
had to deal with throughout my action adventure gameplay, where you get in a small arena with a big guy and you're like kind of screwed. But there's ways around it. Fine. I just want to know if you could do range build, and you answer my question.
You can 100% do range build. Does that carry you through everything? And should you fully lean into that for all situations? No, variety is the spice of life.
Shut up. Anyways, let's see. Oh, stamina bar. Well, how is stamina?
Yeah,
calculated
that's
or
a good
whatever in
question.
this game?
Stamina bar.
Sure. There's a little GUI interface. Sorry, ATM machine. There. There's a little GUI right next to you. And that's your stamina bar. You use those abyss artifacts, unlock more stamina. And that one right there. Yeah. And your attacks, your blocks, like your rolls, everything like kind of plays into that. This is where like the arcade fighting style references like really come into play, where it's a little bit of a dance between your aggression and your defense, managing the stamina about how you go about encounters. So boss fights specifically like lean into that sort of FGC and like arcade style heritage about how you're dancing around that.
Okay. Another side question to that: is there a stamina bar outside of combat? Like, can I just run forever if I want to?
There is currently.
Okay.
So it's the same. I understand the question. I understand why people are asking the question. Currently, there is.
Yeah. Okay. I'd rather there not be. Just
just throwing that out there.
I'm saying I understand
damage
why.
when hit. Just throwing that out there.
And you don't want
you
a
have a-
stamina
you have
bar
a
during
horse,
discovery. It makes no
and
sense.
Your horse can run faster.
Okay. There you go. Okay. Cool. Is everything voice acted? Like, is it 100% voice acted? I mean, obviously not books and stuff, but like.
I'm going to. Well, I'll not talk shit about other games. I will. All of our voice acting is by humans.
Got it. Okay.
So, like I'm pulling back from saying that 100% of all NPCs are 100% voice acted and everything, just because I'm categorically making the decision of not saying 100% on anything so that if one NPC isn't voice acted, then I'm not a liar on the internet. But like, yes, voice acting for all mainline NPC, the main like sideline or side quest NPCs, like there is voice acting in the game across multiple languages, Korean, English, Chinese, I think right now, but 13 different text localization, or I think more than that. Look at our Steam page. We're available across a ton of different languages with full localization as well as text localization. It is a massive undertaking to localize a project like this, just because of the sheer breadth of it. So, like,
just
communities that aren't listed in there that are asking for localization.
For the localization.
I'm not ignoring you. It's just not my decision. It's a huge undertaking that takes a long time, and we'd rather release the game than delay it.
Yeah. Okay. A few people are asking about a demo. Just curious.
I'm gonna give the same answer. This is a hard game to demo. It goes back to like zero people in the world have played this game without Pearl Abyss staff present next to it. And that's because the demo builds that we've put out there aren't standalone demos. They are save states of the game, or like instances of bosses, which bosses aren't representative of the game as you're seeing as a whole. Like this, if I'm calling this an open world game and we're doing a boss fight demo, then that's not representative of the main thing that we're saying.
This is not a
Souls
game, Beastie.
So
the stamina bar is not like a Souls game.
No, I get it. It's like having a 13-course meal and giving you an apple. It's like that's all we can. Like, we can only give you so much.
Yeah. So it's like I understand the need for it. I understand the ask for it. We're not ignoring that. What I can say is this: we are going to get the game in as many people's hands that are authoritative figures that should be representative of what the experience is like before launch, and we are going to release performance numbers. So between the two of those, I hope that fully answers your expectations and what the game is.
Cool.
That's what we can do because like
have they said anything about frame rate? I mean, it's available on PC and PS5, not on PS4, so it's definitely not a 30 FPS game. I mean, PS4 is definitely going to be a 60 FPS game, and PC is going to be like unlimited FPS.
Amount of dev work to create a standalone demo, like I don't even know where we would even start with what point of the game which would be representative of the game.
Yeah, that's fair. That's absolutely fair. And last question, just a minor. Is there like armor and weapon durability in the game? Please say no.
Well, I would say if you're spending that much time customizing it, I would
so this is where old things have been on the internet. This is a thing that was in the game.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So this is where like, and certain tools and certain singular use items still have that, but durability for your primary weapons and your unique weapons is not a thing.
Yeah, okay, that's good.
Yeah.
So like this, great. And let me define, like, if you have a pickaxe, if you have like a smithing hammer, if you have like a logging axe, like some of those utility items, I believe still have durability because you can make multiple of those. Like it's a thing.
I feel it's so outdated, by the way, durability in general in games. It just feels terrible, right? Having your gear break down, then repair your gear. It adds like a gameplay loop in a game that's just 100% punishment, and there's like no upside to it. There's zero upside to your durability system. It's only downside, right? It takes away time from me to have fun in the game, and it's purely punishment. It doesn't matter which game it is, right? Might it be now No Rest for the Wicked? Might it be in like Kingdom Come Deliverance? Might it be like in ARPGs? Durability is purely punitive. Like it's just gonna kick me in the balls. There's zero fun involved.
And then
It's added difficulty. No, it's not. It's not difficult. It's just annoying, right? It just forces you to go to a repair station, repair your gear, and that's it. It's a gameplay loop added inside that does nothing for the gameplay but punish you and does not add a single ounce of fun. Because your gear's broken, you have to repair it. So I have to go repair it. Just leave the durability out and let me keep having fun. It doesn't add anything. It just subtracts. Personally, to me.
Like, I don't want to, I'm trying not to give away things that we haven't shown.
Yeah.
There are certain like item drops that are like singular use from like mob enemies that also still have durability. So
Sure. Yeah.
durability is in the game. It's not on your
Or you
primary
can use
weapon.
it like 5 times.
Yeah. So
Something
it's
like that,
that is
No, I just-
those screenshots that have durability on
Alan,
the primary weapon are
In No Rest for the Wicked is a bit different, but you generally
No, I
get
just
my
I hate
drift.
being in the middle of the battle and like you're not paying too much attention and it
You
like
will not
you
experience
have
that.
like
Your
3
weapon,
swings
your
left.
weapon will not break. You're good.
Okay, good. That's all I care about.
Yep.
That's
Yeah,
good.
no, you're good. That is not a thing.
Excellent.
So it is becoming very clear that this sandbox is going to be from the veneer, from the looks of it, like there's going to be more to do in this sandbox than most. And I know for many people, the next question in their mind is going to be, can I get in there and mod this? Is that something you guys have thought about or considered? Like this sandbox was incredible.
We've gotten that question a lot, and I don't have a good answer for that. And let me walk you through the reason why I don't have a good answer. Because again, like I don't want to give like no or yes, like without thought process. I think that like the reasoning is incredibly important to have people understand like the approach we're taking as a studio.
Death should have consequences. Yes, you die. See, this is Kiss Rings. This is where we're talking about friction in a game, and if there's too much friction, it makes games bad, right? So death should have a consequence. Yes, you're dead. You died. And you have to repeat the content that you wanted to do and you died. There doesn't need to be a bonus consequence. You don't have to lose durability. Sure, in Souls games that your souls are there and you have to pick them back up. Makes sense because it adds a bonus thingy. But if I die in an RPG game like Crimson Desert right now, right? And my gear starts breaking down, that's not a consequence. That's just only punishment and it doesn't add any fun to it. Right? Death is the consequence of dying. You die in a boss fight, you have to do it again. Point made, right? You have to walk back to the boss, you have to get there, and you have to do it again. That's the consequence, that's the punishment. But if you add bonus punishment, it adds friction to a game, and if you then add too much friction to a game, it gets to the point where it's annoying. Example given, Dark Souls games, the old Dark Souls games. You died, and you didn't get spawned at the boss, right? So in Elden Ring, they added the Statues of Marika that have you spawn right at the boss, so you can keep repeating the boss. In old Souls games, you died, and you had to walk back to the boss, sometimes 5 minutes. Right? Sometimes 5 minutes. And it was called the Walk of Shame. However, the Walk of Shame is bullshit and just bad game design. Now, some people will fight you to death for that, right? That, oh no, if I die in a boss fight, I need to walk back 5 minutes. Wrong. You don't. That's why Elden Ring now has the Statues of Marika. That's why other Souls games put the bonfires right in front of the boss area. So you don't have the Walk of Shame anymore. Diablo durability loss when you die is low-key annoying, but for survival games it's understandable. Yes, for survival games, it is understandable. Because it's a survival game. And there it 100% makes sense. But for an RPG, it's just an arbitrary mechanic that doesn't add to the gameplay loop, And it's literally just into this point because it always used to be in, right? A lot of mechanics that you have in games nowadays, they're just like because they have always been part of this formula, not because they actually make the formula better. So it's good to see when games just decide that this is not actually making our game better. This just has been always a part. But maybe it shouldn't.
Again, going back to our DNA. Our DNA comes from live service multiplayer. Like that, we can't allow that in that space. So historically, this has never even been a conversation at the studio. So I think that it makes sense specifically for the PC audience, and we need to have those conversations about what it looks like post launch. But I can't guarantee our stance of where we're going to end up from a studio standpoint on whether we're fully supportive of PC modding, because I don't know. I know historically where we have been because of that live service standpoint, but this is a different conversation, and I don't think we've fully had it yet.
Will, you would make the best politician. You're so good at this.
I think
I heard everything. That makes
it's incredibly important to like. I don't want to say no. I don't like, nor do I even know the answer. Like, it's not fully up to me. I want to walk everyone through the reasoning of the conversation, so that you can understand where we're coming from as well.
It's contextualizing it.
It's incredibly contextual, and that's important because it's not an easy decision. And if we open up for this, then okay, well, they can do it for this game. Well, they can do it for the other game too, like in certain ways, like. So it's a little bit of Pandora's box in a sense. And I don't know, candidly. So there is enough content to last you at launch, and let's revisit this conversation after launch, and we can see, because personally, I don't hate the idea of modding, but does it make sense for this game, or have we added enough features to allow for someone to do that, or do you just want to play as Shrek in this world? I don't know.
I mean, Shrek would be kind of cool. Will, are we doing Shrek collabs?
Yeah.
We've shown DreamWorks now 1-in-1.
I just wanted to return to the question about the dragon, and we'll just.
Can I be a donkey? Will,
you can carry the donkeys. Shrek can carry the donkeys.
Okay.
So I don't know.
All right. Fair.
You can make your character look like a Shrek.
Let's go here. At launch, we want to convey the developer's vision.
Cool.
If the community demands this and really wants us post-launch, let's take it up. Let's have a conversation.
Cool. Well, we've kept you over your time, but I will do final questions if Ko or Zeke have any. I feel like we've kind of thrown everything at you so far. So
I'll start, man. So first of all, just really appreciate it. I mean, you did answer pretty much every single question, and it's very clear you said pretty much everything you could. So really appreciate the transparency. That is awesome. I have known you for a while, and I've worked with you on many different projects. You seem palpably more excited about this one. Like this, there's a lot in this. What is the biggest? What is one or two of the biggest things about this that stand out to you? Like this is different.
Well, I've worked on really fun things. Like I don't want to there's a couple of things like behind me that like this is my history of my career shelf like behind me. Like I've worked on really cool things. There's something about launching a new IP. They're like, and that just is really, really fun. Like not to say like working on God of War isn't fun. Like working on God of War was super cool. But when you're working on an established IP, you have things that you can't do or have to do because that is the brand. There is no brand Bible. Like for this, we're creating it in real time, and we're establishing what this game is. And that allows from my seat, it allows for creative freedom. I don't make the games. So the impact that I can have in my seat is around generating excitement and getting people excited about the game. From a new IP, this is me as a kid in a candy store. And from a historic standpoint, like I like the game.
Belly, you haven't seen any PS5 footage. I mean, I would definitely wait for release before I buy the game, Belly Boy. Again, the pre-order doesn't have anything crazy, right? So the pre-order gives you a shield right now, or the horse armor and player armor, which will carry you however far, right? Zabulev, good to see you there, partner, by the way. And Mr. Anarchy, thank you for the brand new sub. There's no reason to pre-order. There's nothing crazy. There is in the state of play, there was PlayStation State of Play had some PlayStation footage, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see. State of Play Crimson Desert. There was there was for like there was definitely somewhere. I don't just know where it was, but there was State of Play Crimson Desert footage. So that one there you have. But again, like you don't have to pre-order. Like there's no pressure for this game, right? This is what I'm trying to convey here. But other games, I would say the pre-order bonuses were worth the pre-ordering, and they also had some kind of multiplayer elements. And whenever a game has multiplayer elements, it's obviously worth it to pre-order. But since there's nothing multiplayer and it's a complete single player game, I mean, you only have FOMO, right? And that's about it. But why would you have FOMO over a single player game?
Game I have the most time in the world on is Ultima Online. I have put tens of thousands of hours into that game. And
good man.
This is like this is a game for me. And in the sense of like there's risk reward, there's exploration. Like, so oftentimes you're not working on a project that aligns with your particular palette. Doesn't mean it's not good, but this is a new IP that is also a game that I enjoy playing. And I play it at work because I have to, because from my standpoint, in order to talk about things, I talk about them from my own experience, because that's the only way that it's universally true, is when I did this in the game, this is how I felt. This is what it meant. This is one of those games that I keep finding myself wanting to come back to, which is rare. There's some games when you launch them and you're like, I don't want to play that game at launch.
I'm tired. I've seen so much.
I've played enough of this game. With this one, it has that amorphous nature to it, where like I can't quite pin down what it is, but you keep coming back to it. And that's when I think like internally is like, oh, there's something special here. So rallying around that and just getting in as many people's hands as possible, like that's fun. So how do we cultivate that same experience when genre doesn't do it justice, comparing it to other games doesn't do it justice?
His job.
Like,
yeah, I mean, Will
all of those
definitely do good in his job explaining all this stuff. I'm not sure if we're getting more answers here right now.
How do you do that?
Right, the last.
So we've thrown away the book and we're just
10 minutes, or is this just like
getting people
chit
excited?
Chat?
Cool. So next question: can you give me the full marketing breakdown from until we launch? Like,
there it is.
Well, I don't know.
What a great
You're not replying to our email, so I can't tell you. That.
Oh shit! It got
I had a guy for that shit.
That's on you, homie.
It got personal for me. It got real personal.
Selfishly, I went to Chapel Hill. I'm trying to get a trip out to North Carolina.
There you go.
Oh, okay. Well, you know where to find.
Yeah. Zeke?
I had one last just straight up game mechanical question. How does saving work in the game?
Oh, actually, cool answer for this one.
Okay.
We have a great autosave system, and it's really good. Like, it's really, really, really good. I don't think I've ever talked about an autosave system as like this level of compliment, but anytime I've died, like I haven't. The worst thing you can do is repeat content and just feel like, oh my god, I have to do that again.
Yeah.
I haven't experienced that yet. So whatever dev made the frequency and like save points for the autosave system, like props to them. Like this is the best autosave system I've personally experienced.
Okay.
Awesome.
And is there manual saving?
Yes, you can also do that. Yes.
Okay. The reason why I'm a gambler, and you said there's gambling in the game.
And yep, I got it.
Yeah, kind of.
Yep.
Okay.
You got me.
Awesome.
Yep.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Mwah.
Well, fantastic. I think we've kept too much of your time here on Sunday.
I was gonna say, Will's out of internet.
Yeah, your internet's dying on us.
I hate I hate the gigabit internet that I have. It just
I think it's an LA routing issue, like we were talking about off stream. I think it really is. We've had like Jesse Cox on, and his routing's always had struggle bus stuff as well.
But yeah, I do want to just take a second and make it very clear on one thing. Like the developers of this game, like I don't think I've ever worked with a team that's put their heart and soul into something like this.
Okay, I think that's it. Kind of like from what we're getting, We do have some more gameplay. We had the 11 minutes from IGN first, but that was 4 months ago, right? There was actual Crimson Desert here. This was actual Crimson Desert.
IGN first for October is Pearl Abyss
Gameplay. Showing us like some more of how it moves, how you can go around, that you can really, like as you see here in the open world, that you can start from a point, right? In Mars. Here, like, see, you can zip here from that tower and fly all the way over to the castle. Alone, that level of traversal is already something, right? I mean, you're out here. It's the captured fortress. You need to fortain the cursed knight. So you pretty much decide where to enter the fortress, and like, you know, do you make your way to Fortain in the shortest way possible? Or are we going to go over a longer route to get to that? Right? So that's like... I'm still unsure about like the multi-enemy combat, because it seems a lot like you're fighting like so many. By the way, there was a rather like you had to open the menu, right? So you can open the quick menu, and then you can swap with L2 and R2 between the elemental skill you're using or the mana that you're using. Seems somewhat... I mean, UI is really minimal. We get like map. You get here some skills. You don't actually see any skill pop-ups here too. So it's not like it doesn't tell you like press R2 and X or R2 and B. So it's something in that direction, like Where Winds Meet, where you have like your 8 skills visible that you can pretty much use. It doesn't show anything here in the overview. So they expect me to remember. This is the fight against the big nine. While you're being shot at by everyone. One thing I gotta say, it doesn't seem like too punitive on being hit, because he's like taking some hits here. He like, look at the life bar, bottom left corner, right? So he does get hit, boom. But like, even if he takes a hit while dishing out damage, the damage taken is not that high. I mean, obviously he's playing shield, so he's probably dodging, and you don't know how overfarmed the player is. Very important. What I like to see is, like, watch this, guys. It says 50 heals. The man crafted 50 heals. So what I wonder is there an amount of heals you can take per fight? Because there is, for example, no rest for the wicked. You can take a certain amount of heals in a fight before you can't anymore. So you might have 100 dishes with you to eat, but you can only eat 6 dishes per fight. This doesn't seem to be the case here. So you can over prepare by cooking way too many meals, right? Like a crazy amount of heals are possible. It has a long cooldown. It's a good question, valid question, but I just assume this goes to the customizable difficulty. No, he just took a heal and it doesn't have any cooldown. Look at that. He just ate this. Boom. And it was really quick too. So this was like not short, like right. It's just like he goes back and then boom, just heals. I mean, if that's going to stay this way, right? But I like that. I mean, I'm not mad at being able to eat as many heals as possible, because you still have to make them, right? So you have to cook all these meals. You have to get the resources for them, or buy them and spend your money, and then carry them around with you. Maybe there's no difficulty. There are no difficulty settings, chat. So the game is as difficult as it is, and you pretty much shape the difficulty with your discovery. And with your level of gear upgrades. That's how you kind of shape it. Okay? And I think that's really interesting because I hate games that have artificial difficulties like hard, expert, veteran, because often it turns enemies into bullet sponges. So instead of doing that, just make a game as difficult as it is, and that's it, right? Just make a game with a difficulty that fits to the linear path of progression that you have inside the game. I don't need a game to be harder. I need a game to be as hard as it's intended to be. Is there no stamina bar? There is a stamina bar. I just don't understand where. I think the stamina bar is what's around your character. This is your stamina bar, as far as I understand. So this like the kind of wide squiggly lines. There is stamina, but it's not very punitive stamina, to be honest. Not to what we've seen so far. I mean, you see the character rolling around, attacking around, blocking, dodging. Again, we don't know how far advanced the character is. If he's over booped for this kind of content, right? You don't know this. But it does not seem to be too punitive. There is a stamina system. There were skills to improve stamina. So that's fine. Did Will mention quick save in the game? There is a very good autosave system, plus you can quick save at any given point. So yes, there is quick saving and everything. Slideshow from the Ranger. Yeah, I mean, these were also just some of the skills, right? So again, by discovering, you can learn more skills and you can then weave them more into your combat. Obviously, there's only that many buttons you can press, as Will said. So alone in this fight now, he took 5 heals, but I wouldn't say he like 6 heals. The presenter did not like fight particularly skilled right now, correct? I haven't seen many parries, I haven't seen many things. This did not look like a difficult fight, right? Sure, he had to roll some attacks, but if you look at the amount of hits he actually took, a lot. But he still didn't die, so that's kind of like, I like that. I like to see that. And then you beat the guy, and the guy actually gives you fancy loot. Here, you kill him, he gets you an artifact. Artifact upgrades you. And then then you can take your zippy to zip up. Yeah, he might have some good armor, exactly. So he might be stronger than he should in any way be. We don't know that. I think you get heal over time if you don't get hit. It might be that the food just had heal over time. So every food, there's cooking in the game. Every food has different kind of buffs. Every food does different amount of heals. And I would assume that there's probably a food that you eat and then it provides you with bonus heal after you've eaten it, right? So get 120 health instantly, plus then 5 health per second afterwards. Something in that direction. Do we have some more like gameplay? That was the 11 minutes there. I think we had 13 different minutes from IGN as well. There's another one here. Yeah, this was the fight that we've seen before against the, was it against the king that you get here in the middle? This says assess the situation, but you just go there, you talk to this guy, but there are no dialogue options. I personally, I like this a lot. I hope the dialogue is upspeedable that we had on Werewin's Mead. So you pretty much go there, you just listen to some talk, and then you keep doing your quest without having to like lengthy dialogue with the people forever. Which is definitely something I prefer because I don't want to just sit around and dialogue with people all the time, right? I want to play the game. Oh, you can shoot a cannon inside the... Practically. They put the classes into weapons. Well, again, no classes, just skills, right, Gambit? So with a two-handed sword, you can use different skills than with an axe. I mean, surprise. Who would have guessed? So yes, obviously, if you use a bow, you can use archer skills. Does that make you an archer? No, but it makes it probably a swappable weapon too. What I ask myself is, do I have to swap a weapon to use a skill, or can I use a skill and it swaps the weapon? So let's say I have an archer skill equipped, or I learned an archer skill. Can I just press the combination for said archer skill, and he will automatically whip out my bow and just start shooting, right? So I think that is something I would like to know. because that makes bow then inherently more interesting because you have a bow equipped. So that means I press X plus L1 and it will always do like my archer triple shot, right? And then if I press X and L2, it will go back with my two-handed overhand swipe. Or whatever that is going to be. Yeah, the multi-character fighting is... I mean, this is definitely meant to be you versus 5 to 10 at any given point. That's a more elite opponent. And as it seems like you could now go into observation mode, guys, to actually observe him doing like this triple swing around and then maybe even learn that triple swing around. Obviously, you can probably only learn skills that work on the weapons available for the character. Right? He's swinging around here with his hammer. So what if the character doesn't have a hammer? Can he still learn the skill, but for other weapons? I see the question. It's going to be intriguing to figure out like which skills can you actually learn and which skills can't you learn, because that obviously matters. And we do want this armor from this guy, from Mr. Cassius Morton. There was a fiery shield bash there. And now after he used the fiery shield bash, he doesn't have fire mana anymore. So what I wonder is, how do you build up fire mana again, right? Does he build it up over dodging? Does he build it up over hitting? Is it an over time thing? Does he have to be aggressive, right? How do you get more mana? It's like pretty much the symbol like here at the bottom left corner, right? You have the, here he built now some up from doing whatever, right? And he also has like leaf, earth mana, whatever. And he just used the one blip of mana he had for the fire sword. Left sidebar near map. Yeah, I think this could be your stamina meter actually, or it's just the way how the day progresses. I thought like this was your stamina meter, right? Because this one doesn't move at all. Ditto. There's no movement to this bar, so that might be your XP bar for all we know. I mean, since it doesn't move in combat at all, it might be your XP bar. Did he just lift the pillar and he's now going to smack him with it? Wow. Chat, listen. Did they just crash here and then you lift the pillar and then you hit him? Do enemies drop gear? Normal enemies drop gear, yes, but that gear is more currency. They talked about it before, so if you kill like rabble opponents, they will drop gear. But the rabble opponents you're killing, gear you're getting, is more like sell gear. So just gear to make money, so you can actually buy yourself meaningful upgrades. The actual gear you're looking for is blueprints, special opponent gear, and unique gear. Because unique gear will then interact with your skills and change what it does, or even unlock new skills, whilst you then also can craft like respective blueprinted stuff to really become stronger. XP bar for what exactly? I thought there's no level up. Scarvy, valid point. So we absolutely have no clue what that bottom left bar next to the map is. It's something. Regional progress, maybe. So there will be gear drops, but it's not like ARPG loot shooter gear drops in that regard, right? Because there's no something from that. No, it's definitely not the stamina bar because it doesn't move at all. Can't be that. You get all used up when he did a big move in the Town City Jock. Did it get used up there? I thought it was just a cut, you know? I wasn't sure if the bar did actually get used up or if it was just a simple... Here, see, like, he has the bar here, and then he does something, and it stays the same. Because the big moves are down to your mana. So, right, you have here the mana. So, for example, here's the fight versus the red guy. And he starts the fight with a full... Here's the red mana thingy. So, you see that the red mana has one leaf. And then he goes for, like, this fire move, and the one red flame thingy goes away, right? So I don't think this one here is anything with special attacks or something or whatever. It could just be daily cycle, to be honest. I mean, this on the left side could just be day and night cycle that goes up and down. Who knows? Like, I don't know. It probably has a relevancy. This is Crimson Desert? Yes, this is Crimson Desert. Gameplay here. Oh, there seems to be Chinese gameplay too. From whatever that is. This already looks graphically more advanced than the clip we've seen there. Looks a bit more fidelity. Also, there's no left bar anymore. Hey, Chad, remember where we talked about the left bar? Right? There's no left bar. In this gameplay. So who knows? Wow, that's a lot of opponents. Going into the menus seems to slow down time, but it doesn't stop time completely. It still allows you, though, to actually use the menus in fight in a meaningful way, right? Just don't fall asleep while you're doing it. I like that. It's good. It doesn't give you, like, the option to just completely shut it down, but... Ah, there's the bar again. See? Okay. The bar is quest progress or regional progress. I mean, right now, whenever an enemy dies, the bar goes up. So it might be just that, like, let's say you have to clear 100% of enemies in this area. And right now, the bar goes up whenever you clear an enemy, since it's not XP, right? So that could be that. Yeah, or kill count or something in that direction. I guess we're being too held up by the bar. What I like to see here, though, is that he has way more mana. I mean, look at this. The leaf is fully filled up, and it has, like, 2 rings around it. So you probably can do way more moves now with your leaf, whatever the leaf does. Nice electricity hit. That looked pretty good. I mean, that stun skill seems to be a staple one, and it actually did deplete here the stun skill did deplete the leaf mana. Whatever that mana is. By the way, it seems to be the same demo still as the other one, right? Because these are the same fights, so it's a bit longer gameplay segment, but it seems like this is the gameplay that all the media outlets have gotten, right? Against this guy. Pretty much, as he said, there have not been many demos itself. It has been like always players together with like short snippets of the game, pretty much. So far, good. I like it. I mean, I have not yet watched every single state of play and so on. Like, this was pretty much the stream where we watched it all together, ladies and gentlemen. Right? You have seen as much as I have. And I can confidently say I will play the game. That's for sure. I like the environmental destruction. The interesting part is that the environmental destruction is meaningful. I mean, as we have seen in the one fight, that you could pick up the pillar and actually smash the boss with it. By the way, the person failed here. So you can actually suck and fail a fight, right? So yeah, that's here. See, this is meaningful. He goes again into this time slow, whatever mode, and he wants to pick up this pillar to smash the enemy with, right? Can he get, oh, he can even get interrupted while doing so. So you have to stagger the enemy and then do it. All right? Because he wants to lift it up, but he's being staggered out of it the whole time. So you gotta break their stamina to have the enemy like on their knees. Makes the IGN reviewer actually look competent right now, Chad. Hasn't happened often. Oh wow, triple jump into the air and then a shot from the air. I mean, it didn't do any damage, but it looked quite impressive. I'm pretty happy for the game. What do you say so far? It has all the features in a game that are worthwhile to explore. That makes it seem interesting. I mean, in the preview 1, we have seen parts of the map. So in the preview number 1, where has it been? This is the Pywell. I know it was youtube.com/Crimson Desert here. So in the preview number 1, we have seen like a view of the map, and it definitely looks like it's big enough to be really interesting discovery. Not sure where the shot of the map was. They quickly show it, like they go over this and they show you part of the discovery and where you can all go. Like when you don't remember it. They certainly do show the map, and yeah, I can't wait to like find all the little secrets, especially since you have to discover for skills, right? So that's important. You have to discover for skills. You have to do quests for skills, and you have to discover and do quests to get the artifacts to upgrade set skills, which means if you're not going around the world, and if you're not checking out everything there is, then you're just going to miss out, right? You're going to pretty much keep your basic chop, but you're not going to get the super overhead blaster, the 360 whirlwind skill, the fireball sword technique, and stuff like that, right? And I think that's very important, right? That you will have to go through things to actually see. Crimson Desert gameplay preview. There was the 50-minute clip, right? If I'm not mistaken. Here. There's like this one where you see some choice mini games. This is the 50-minute preview is the same. See, like the interesting part is that this is exactly the same as the other one, only that the 50-minute preview is playing slower. So we've pretty much seen exactly this fight now too, right? So it's the same preview that everyone has shown with a boss fight at the end, right? The boss fight versus Cassius Morton. Only that the person is now playing different. I mean, this one is playing a bit more skilled and it's applying more elemental effects to the enemy because he seems to be permanently burned and lightninged, right? So you seem to like be able to apply pressure, right? You seem to be able to deplete their stamina bar. They're lying on the ground. You then have the time to actually lift up the pellet and smash them into smithereens. The game is 2 times bigger than Skyrim and 80 square kilometers bigger than RDR2. I think the size does really not matter at all. What matters is more that the space is meaningful filled with stuff that makes sense, right? Because if the space is not filled with stuff that makes sense, then any size is meaningless. And Will said it in a nice way that the game is full of distractions. So you pretty much walk down a road and you see there's a cave entrance or there's a tower in the distance. There's stuff that you will want to see, right? Stuff that you will want to discover. And that's, I think, how it should be, right? That there are things where you're like, wow, I would really like to know what's behind door number 2. That's meaningful open world for me. And not just like a few check marks to check off. You're still discussing this game, Bruce? Well, we watched a really long interview. So in case you missed what we did today, in case you've just joined, we pretty much watched every single piece of content that they have to offer, right? We watched all the feature overviews from the Crimson Desert side. These are 3 videos. They're 15, 8, and 8 minutes long. That's some content. And then we watched an interview with Will Powers, so their marketing director that the guys from Drop Frames did. And we pretty much collected everything that we've learned from these interviews in, like, here are a few cliff notes. And this will land, like, in a TLDR video for you guys. So this is pretty much everything we just had going on, like the regions, the stuff. How does the XP system work? How do you upgrade your weapons gear? How's progression in the game? All that kind of stuff together in, like, a, yeah, what comes in one video to explain things for you, for the people that missed it, that haven't now been here all stream long. I mean, you could also just rewatch the whole stream to go through with this together, but just saying that there is going to be a TLDR video coming that kind of wraps it all together. There's 3 more gameplays with the IGN first title. Yes, Jack, but it's not really offering us more, right? Check out the Crimson Desert new gameplay demo, 27 minutes. Well, that's probably exactly the same gameplay again. Overflow. Like all the gameplay videos have been more or less been the same, right? With not much more to see. There was a quick view on the map. I mean, they're starting here with, like, actual. This is the shot of the map, by the way. So they're zooming out. So just to give you, like, a feeling for the size of what's happening, what we got here going on. But this is, like, not the complete map, right? So this is parts of it. And as you notice, there's towns, fortresses, caves, mountains, whatever, things to discover. And not everything is actually visible on the map, right? So you might still go, like you see now, here's a cave, there's a town, and there's a town, and that's a fortress. But what is there in the middle? Could there be something in the middle? Obviously, right? And that's the big question too, because if only the things that you kind of see on the map are relevant, then there's a lot of empty space here, because if this is relevant, these 4 spots, but what is with this? What is everything here in the middle? Correct? That's kind of like what we need to know now. If that goes on. Oh, there was the fight against the guy. This fight was kind of, like, impressive. I mean, this is also, like, big fight here with way too much color correction, by the way. I'm not sure why a lot of people are doing so much color correction on their videos. It just looks oversaturated instead of just showing us how the game actually looks. As long as the fight's crazy. I mean, the fight here generally is crazy. That one boss dude here, when you're going to fight him. Snot of that guy. And then he kind of gets murdered by all his friends. We like, see, this is all just well, okay, the Curious the Slayer. We haven't seen that one before. So that's like a bear-esque kind of opponent, and Walter Landford too. We see some more skills. We finally see someone also with a full mana. I mean, so far the game definitely has dropped all the important information that you kind of need to have to make an educated decision if you wonder what not to be excited. I mean, there's an amount of healthy skepticism you should have, as always, right? Is this going to be performing okay? Is the open world really as full as they have said? But from what I've learned today and what I've put together, I'm definitely looking forward to it. Cautiously excited, right? I do like the way how the progression is laid out. I do like the discovery of being able to find new skills and having to find new skills. I mean, for me personally, as someone who makes guides, obviously Crimson Desert looks like a great game, right? Alone, things you have to find in region 1, secrets you would never have found yourself, right? The hidden super weapon that you have never seen before. Obviously, for me as someone who makes this kind of content, Crimson Desert seems to be like the content is writing itself already. Some people have overhyped themselves for sure. I mean, some people expect this to be carrying them for the next 6 months to come. End of the day, it is a single player game. So you're going to play it, you're going to beat it, and then you're going to decide how much time you still want to play with it, right? How much farming you want to do, how much mining you want to do, how much upgrading. Do you want to play it again, but this time you want to make different decisions, right? End of the day, it's a finite game that will bring a lot of joy to our hearts, but it's still finite. There's a start, there's an end, plus minus how much time you wish to just snooker into this, right? It's not like there's this unlimited multiplayer loop. Price tag is $70, right? And I think $70 seems to be fair for what we can expect, right? Fair from how it seems. There's the deluxe edition for $80. There's no 3-day early access. There's no 6-day early access, which I think is good. We're due for a huge shift what's possible in an open world RPG. Yes, definitely. I mean, if Crimson Desert works the way they want to, then I do believe, obviously, it's going to bring in a new gen of ARPGs, or of RPGs in general, at least in a certain direction. Then we get Witcher 4 coming as well, which hopefully is also reinventing the genre and giving us more again instead of just Witcher 4. We'll see. That being said, chat, I think we're going to end our stream here then today. This was amazing, fun. Thank you for so many of you actually showing up. I mean, this was literally me just watching videos and being hyped for stuff. So I'm actually duly appreciate how many of you have shown up and wanted to share this with me. So big appreciation. Again, there will be a couple of TLDR videos coming your way. And if there's any new piece of information coming, we'll do another of these streams for sure. So if Will drops a bit more, if towards the release there's more of this, I'll keep you updated, right? But I'll make sure to obviously also bring now the actual TLDRs for what we have seen so far. Kind of like a future dense video on what's all to come and how the progression works, leveling, difficulty, that kind of stuff. Because there were some good answers in the interview that you have seen nowhere else yet. And obviously not everyone wants to watch 2 hours of interview. Okay? Thank you for coming and watching. The VOD of this will also be put live if you just want to watch the whole thing again. So appreciate it. And wish you all a good rest of your day. Take care. And see you tomorrow for even more content.